Well, anyhow, getting to be that time of year. I'm a deer hunter. How do you do?
Welcome to the Gravel Roads Radio Podcast Network. It's not a traditional Gravel Roads Radio podcast, so anybody tuning in to see Steve and Ron and Max and Ryan and PTJ going to be disappointed, but it's hunting season. We figured it'd be a good time to talk about some hunting.
Yeah.
How's your season going?
Well, I've had better ones.
Have you? yeah, me too.
It's one of those years.
Yeah, did you get out over the weekend?
Yep.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Well, I've been bouncing around on just public.
Yeah.
Kind of getting the public land blues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Those are common around here.
Oh, yeah.
You and a whole bunch of other people, or are you finding spots where it's a little quieter?
This year, I think it's a little quieter in general, but
yeah,
so is the deer movement too.
Yeah.
So
Been kind of a weird year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to ask me how my hunting season's
Well, I was actually going to start with you and see how your hunting, how your opening weekend went.
I seen a lady hit a deer yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So
that's not bad.
So it's going pretty good for me, I'd say.
Was it a buck or what?
No, just a small little, almost looked like a dog. It was so small.
Maybe it was a dog.
Smashed her car pretty good though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, no, I've been thinking we should do I wanted to do a hunting podcast for kind of a long time. Just never got around to it, and I didn't have any stuff to do it with anyway. So
You're dumb enough to tell me about it.
Yeah, I was dumb enough to tell you
and saying, let's get her done.
You told Stove, and here we are. But I was telling Goff before the show, it's kind of interesting how we got into hunting, because none of us really grew up in a hunting family when we were kids.
No, my dad didn't hunt at all.
Yeah. Yeah, mine didn't. I remember one time my dad took Adam and Rico, I think, hunting in
Up north.
Yeah, in East Bethel where he grew up. And, they didn't shoot anything, but at least not that I recall. That was the only time, anybody ever went hunting. I mean, we ran around with BB guns. And
we shot lots of things.
Yeah, we did.
For sure.
We did, but I don't recall ever once saying, let's go squirrel hunting or let's go,
Well, no, back then when we hunted, everything was fair game.
I mean, let's be real. We poached.
It made life a little easier.
Yeah. It was just, country bumpkins running around shooting that stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember, thinking it was kind of cool, but
At work, we've had long extended arguments with Sam Corbin
yeah.
about squirrel seasons.
What about it?
He's going, no, there's no season on squirrels. Somebody else goes, yeah, there is. I was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Is there?
There is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
There.
I wouldn't know.
There is. I mean, there's a small game season and all that stuff, but like I said, we're more of the Sam Corbins. It was year round.
Yeah, it was
out in the winter.
It was always squirrel season.
Yeah. Squirrel season and, Tweety bird season.
Well, I remember
whatever.
A couple of years after I moved out, moved away from home from 30th Street.
Yeah.
All of a sudden there was a couple squirrels running around in the trees.
Go figure.
There was no squirrels when we were kids.
No, there was no.
I think that was a long, they've been cleaned out a whole generation before we came along.
Yeah.
Do you remember one time we shot a squirrel? I think we shot a squirrel at my house and kind of wounded a little bit.
Yeah, you guys had a few squirrels.
And I think we put it in a bucket and we brought it to your house because you didn't have any squirrels.
Oh, that was our great idea.
I think we did that.
Nice.
Yeah, we
relocated it.
Relocated some live.
I'm sure that squirrel did real well.
Yeah.
After we shot it a couple times with that Red Ryder one pump.
Yeah.
A couple BBs in its
knocked it out of a tree.
Yeah.
Threw it in a bucket and ran it over there.
Yeah. There you go. Free squirrel.
That was the beginning of my hunting days.
No, but it's so you didn't grow up in a hunting family. You don't hunt currently.
No.
Is that something that interests you at all? Or is it just more of like a never had exposure to it type of thing?
Never had exposure to it. And in reality, I'd probably love it.
Yeah.
I probably would.
You think you should get into
I'd probably get addicted to it.
Yeah.
I'd do all the things people do, spend thousands of dollars on things you don't need and trinkets and waste all my time and go sit in the woods and never shoot anything.
Get the public land blues like me and Dave. Yeah. No, that's sweet.
No, I probably would. I like fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I like being outside. I'd probably like hunting.
Yeah.
It's all kind of the same.
I'm a little bit of a softie though. I might feel a little bad if I shot something.
Yeah. Well, that's legitimate though. Like that's one of the reasons my dad has said he hunted when he was a kid, him and his dad and his brothers, they would hunt. But he has said in more recent years that he just doesn't like killing stuff. And it's like, then yeah, probably don't be a hunter, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I can see that.
But so how did you get into hunting then?
Well, when we were kids, we were, and then, but then, probably shortly after I graduated or whatever, then I kind of lost interest in it for a while. And then, so how long would it, probably 5, I don't know, 5, 6, I don't know how many years. And then, riding to work with, my nephew, Tommy, he was talking about deer hunting. Oh yeah, I'll go, and, so then we me and him, kind of a different subject in itself, but yeah, we started hunting together.
Sure.
And it was awesome.
Yeah. And was that gun hunting or bow hunting or what?
It was gun hunting.
Deer hunting for deer?
Yeah.
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 Had you ever shot a deer before that?
Yeah. One.
Yeah.
I know on the last podcast, you said you went hunting with Larry a few times, Larry Kudala.
Yeah.
You
were just one of Larry's tags. That's
he just wanted the doe tag.
And I didn't really know anything about I didn't really know anything about it until, a handful of years ago. Because with YouTube and stuff, now you can learn stuff so fast.
Yeah, there's
a lot of garbage out there, but there's a lot of good stuff too.
No, what if someone's watching this right now, how much they're going to learn and become experts?
Well, I'll tell you what, cool. I'm not by no means a expert or good deer hunter or whatever, but I definitely have figured out, going, like out on public land, going from just about zero chance of ever killing anything, gun or bow, to, you get 1 or 2 every year.
Yeah.
They're not, wall hangers or nothing, but they're deer,
you learn how to find them and how to hunt them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What not to do. You still screw up all the time.
Oh yeah. But you do that no matter where you're hunting.
For sure.
Experience is the best teacher, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right? But did Spike hunt when he was at home?
Not that I recall. No.
He was more into trapping and stuff. And maybe that's even more later in life. Now he's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was all later, I think.
Yeah. Okay. We should have him on sometime, by the way. That'd be sweet. He's probably.
He would be really good.
I would love to talk to Spike about.
Yeah. Well, if we do another, aren't we going to do another one in a couple of weeks?
We're going to do one every couple of weeks until we get sick of each other.
Yeah. Spike would be really good on it.
Yeah. He'd be, I got a few ideas of who I want to talk to, but Spike is definitely on the list.
Yeah.
So, you want to know who I blame for getting me into hunting?
Who?
Believe it or not, Kristen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, tell us the story.
Yeah. So she doesn't hunt, but, it was the fall.
Did she get sick of you or what?
Yeah. She's got to find a way to get this knucklehead out of the house. And the sad thing is that was only like 3 months after we got married. She's already trying to find ways to get me out of the house.
Smart lady.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Real smart. Well, she might take it back now. If she could go back in time, she might regret it. But we were living in Duluth at the time. We got married in June 2nd, 2007. I remember my anniversary.
That is impressive.
Yeah, that's like 1 brownie point maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, don't test me and Dave. No, please don't.
No. Did you ever go to Pete and Deb's cabin up north?
I did not.
No. Did you ever go there?
No, actually.
No, but I heard a lot about it.
Yeah. I heard a lot about guys going up there, going in the woods and not shooting anything.
Yeah, not shooting anything.
A lot of guys, I feel like there wasn't a whole lot of hunting going sometimes up there.
I think up north hunting's pretty hit and miss.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Mostly miss.
Anyway, they had a sauna and it burned down.
Okay.
And then sometime between the start of hunting season, bow season, and the early October, they were going up there to work on it.
Okay.
And they were either they needed help or they were just knew I was a recently married college kid, needed money, but they asked if I wanted to go help work on the sauna. So I did. So I went up there and it was me and TJ and Pete, and I don't remember if Brad was up there maybe. And we, went up there Thursday, I think, worked on Friday, and then we knocked off a little early because TJ brought his bow. He was going to go hunting. I think Pete brought his.
So TJ had been hunting before that?
Yeah, TJ had been hunting for I don't know how long, but a couple of years for sure. And he had actually talked to me like, you should get into bow hunting. And I just, never did. Whatever. I was in college and busy with other
all
things.
you need is $1,500. You go buy a bow.
$1,500 for a bow and another $1,000 for camo and fake antlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went up there and we were going hunting, and he said, "What do you want to come in my stand with me?" They had 10 acres and it butted right up to the Superior National Forest, public land. And, on public land, people up there, you can build a big permanent stand.
Yeah, they have different rules compared to the public land.
Yep. It's public land, public stand type thing. So I don't know if TJ built this one or if it was just there, but it was one that he had gone in before.
Okay.
And he said there's room for 2 people. So I just, all right, I'll go with you. So we went in there and climbed up, Friday night, and he was kind of explaining, there's a trail right there, and they come out of the swamp, and right at dusk, he's like, no, it's about the prime time for deer to start moving, and okay, whatever. I didn't. This is the first time I've ever been actually hunting, and I was just along for the ride, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
he could have been filling my head with smoke, but he was telling me all about it, and sure enough, right at about last light, something scuffling around in the pond and comes running out and stops about 15 yards from his stand. But it was like, we're in the woods, and that time of year, there's still plenty of leaves, and it gets a lot darker in the woods, versus out in the open. Yeah. So it was still well within legal shooting light. And he drew back on it. He just couldn't quite find it in his peep. He's looking. He's like, should I shoot? Should I shoot? I'm like, I don't know. I've never been hunting before. Like, is that what you do now? I don't know. There's a deer there, and you got your arrow pointed at it. Do you pull the trigger? Well, he didn't end up shooting it, but so we went back to the cabin. The next night, I think I actually went out with Pete's bow, if I remember right. I didn't have a license or nothing. I was like, it never even crossed my mind that I needed one. Like, whatever. And I don't know if I could even pull Pete's bow back. I think I did once in the yard, and it was a fight. Pete's 10 times stronger than I am.
Yeah, he knew you weren't going to shoot.
Yeah, he was like, it'll be fine. So I didn't even see anything that night. But anyway, I got back to Duluth, and I must have told Kristen about it or something. I don't recall ever saying, that was sweet. I got to go bow hunt. I want to be a bow hunter. I think it was cool, but it wasn't like, I got to do this type of thing, Well, she conspired with TJ because my birthday was like a week later.
Oh.
And she got me a bow for my birthday.
What kind of bow was it?
It was a Parker Buck Hunter XP.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not even in business anymore. Yeah. But just an entry level, ready to hunt type thing with a real basic sight and a whisker biscuit on there and a few arrows. And
you shoot 20, 30 yards with that.
Yeah. Somewhat accurately too, if you practice enough. So she got me a bow, and then, living in Duluth and being brand new to hunting, I literally don't think I hunted one time up there. That was I never even considered that you could hunt public land up there. There's public land, but brand new to hunting, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you barely knew what hunting was. And
I barely knew what it was.
What you do.
I told Kristen, that's probably the most surprised I've ever been, because it would have been the last thing I was expecting for my birthday.
Yeah. What year would you say? 2007?
I was been 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we lived in Duluth for sure for another year. So, when we'd come down, the first time I actually took it hunting was at Pete and Deb's regular house here north of where they used to live on 35.
Oh, yeah.
Just west of 3 there.
Yeah.
And I climbed up in a stand that
the
they
old
had.
oak tree woods.
Yeah, in that woods, yep. And I climbed up in a stand there, and it's such a dumb thing now, but I'm sitting there. The stand I think it was one that Bill Karen used to hunt in.
Okay.
And it was
Bunty's old
stand. Yeah. It was maybe 8 feet off the ground. He used to drive his wheeler, park it at the base of the tree, climb up a few steps, and it's just a platform of plywood, I
found out that, old guys, they don't really like climbing up very high.
I look forward to that.
Are you turning into one of those old guys?
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and again, this is very early October, maybe a week after my birthday.
Okay.
And 2 does come walking right down the trail. 8 yards away, maybe.
Right to you.
Yeah. And I just, being such a new hunter and so dumb about it, I was like, I'm going to wait for a buck that's following them.
Yeah.
Like,
there's one right behind.
You're like a month too early for that. You're like, whoa, what? Now I'm like, man, I could have reached out and stabbed the thing just about, I just let them go.
Oh, yeah.
And they continued on to the west, and TJ was probably, 70 yards farther from me. And he, being the experienced hunter, he sees them, and he, across the beat, launches like a 60, 70 yard shot. It didn't hit him, obviously, but yeah. So then, that was kind of all it took.
You first time hunting out there, and you were already Too good.
Yeah, I was
Too
already
good for it.
already waiting for a wall hanger.
You want to go live?
Oh yeah, can we go live? Are we not live? Oh,
Not live.
Yeah. Can we go live?
Yeah,
Let's go live.
Hey, how do you watch a show live?
On YouTube or Facebook.
Do we got people wanting to go live or what?
What?
Do we got people wanting to go live? Waiting for
Want to
us?
go live?
Yeah, we can. Is anybody watching?
Oh, they might be. I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just put these together.
Yeah,
No,
nice.
that's fine.
Didn't know that was a thing, yeah.
You got to come back and find that later.
Yeah,
You
right.
got to
right.
come back and hear the good stuff.
Yeah.
For next time.
Yep. Yeah, so
That's so, I get a kick out of that you're just,
I was just waiting
Yeah,
for
I
a
know.
buck, man.
you pictured just a mountain of a buck coming behind.
Yeah, 10 days into October, and I figured there's a buck chasing does already. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, now it's like, what the heck? The dumbest thing ever. But yeah, so then, but those first few years, I didn't hunt very much because we were living in Duluth for 1 year for sure. Now are we live?
All right, start that whole story.
Yeah, redo.
Yeah.
The real condensed version is Kristen got me a bow, and that's how I got into hunting.
Yeah.
If you want the full details, you got to
I
go
actually
back.
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first time you had a chance, you got cocky.
Yeah, for the very first time I went hunting with it, I was already too good to shoot a doe, so I didn't.
Yeah.
And then, But spent several years learning lessons,
Oh, yeah.
getting busted. And I didn't hunt a ton either because we moved to St. Cloud, and that's about when we started a family. And
Yeah.
I was still working. And even then, I still never really considered that public land would be an option. So I was basically I hunted by Square Lake a few times, at Pete and Deb's a few times, and I don't even know where else I hunted,
Yeah, I didn't. Public land, I was always there, and just watching Dan Infalt gave me
Yeah.
the confidence to go out on public,
Yeah.
or like the thinking it was good, and of course it's not as good as he makes it sound.
Yeah, or maybe he's just actually good at it.
Well, that too, but yeah, like around here, our public land's pretty, it's pretty small parcels, and they all get hunted.
There's a lot of pressure.
There's not really too much for secret little spots anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and Infalt, you know him at all?
I don't.
He's this awesome dude from Wisconsin.
Mhm.
Just a kind of a redneck, little rough around the edges, but he's a real good hunter.
He's got a YouTube channel.
Yeah, he's got
he's
YouTube,
big.
and
Yeah.
he's cool because his scent control is a big, huge topic in deer hunting, right?
Yeah.
Some people try to be completely scent free. Some people just try to make sure the wind is blowing, away from the deer and away from, blowing their scent away from the deer. Dan Infalt, he's the latter. He goes out there and had time to put on some scent control. He takes out a can of bug spray and he's like, just hosing himself down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's this other guy, John Eberhardt from Michigan. He's completely the opposite way.
Oh, yeah.
He is completely anal about his scent control. And don't get me wrong, he's got 100 more deer than I got.
Who's right?
I think they're both right.
There's a lot of ways to do it, probably.
I think they're both right, but I think if you're going to go the scent control thing, I think you would have to get about as hardcore as he does.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go that route, you hunt differently? Or these two guys hunt differently? Or they're... Because then I'd argue both are just like, who cares?
They do hunt a little bit differently. Dan's real big on just getting way in there into the middle of the swamp. He'll wade through waist deep muck and grime, and he don't care. He just goes
I did
wherever.
that for a couple of years, and now I'm done.
It's not a lot of fun.
No, it's no fun at all.
No, but but this John Eberhardt guy, he's got a separate washer and dryer in his garage for his hunting clothes.
Oh, so it doesn't make cross-contaminate with
none.
anything.
Yeah. So I've heard him say he switches to scent-free deodorant, toothpaste, shampoo, everything, months before the season starts. So there's none of that on him.
Yeah.
He'll wash his clothes out in the garage and put them directly in a scent-free tote, and then
he doesn't he have some sort of carbon?
He's got the activated carbon.
Yeah, whatever that
clothing.
is.
Yeah, activated carbon supposedly, sucks up odors.
I think I would be
stuff,
more interested in that if I owned a 500-acre chunk that was all mine to hunt how I pleased, but out on public and doing, I'm not.
Tell me about public land around here. Like, where are there just small spots? I can't even picture where these spots are.
Yeah, just like all the WMAs, and most of them are, I'd consider fairly small. Like one of the biggest ones is probably, one of the biggest ones that I hunt is probably I think it's like 600 acres, that's huge for around here.
The Kingston one?
Yeah.
Kingston WMA.
And that's like almost but most of it's just a giant slough. So it's not like there's 600 acres of actual, but that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. No, it is kind of interesting though. Cause like when we were kids and even all the way through high school, and like I said, into college and well into my 20s, I didn't even know public land for hunting was a thing. Like I just never noticed the signs, never read about it, never heard about it.
Yeah. We hunted a little bit, back to like the Larry Kudla days. We do a little bit of, like that big woods by, the Big Swan spot. There's a big woods on one side and, we'd go up, he'd send us out there. Yeah. But
right across from our house on two sides is south and east. It's all public land.
Yeah.
But
there must be a lot of controversial, like hunter etiquette things that people
there can be
that deal with.
Yeah. There can be.
The only problems I've ever run into on public land is actually with the neighbors who own private up to it.
Yeah.
And they kind of hunt the public, but off of their private.
Yeah.
And then they'll get snooty about, different like,
they want to claim a buffer zone.
Basically they're hunting the public just off their private. Yeah. And then they get all, I had this guy come right by the deer stand at 7:30. It's like, well, I don't know, go hunt your land then.
Yeah. No, that bugs me. The whole, that's one thing I want to talk about is the whole weekend warrior thing,
Yeah.
That gets kind of a bad rap in hunting.
Weekend warrior meaning what?
Meaning someone that basically only hunts weekends.
Yeah.
You got some diehard guys that go out, weekday, multiple times a week, whatever. They got this buck patterned, right? They know where it lives and where it's going to go. And they have a pretty good idea of the trails it takes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then they're set up on it and some weekend warrior comes out and ruins their hunt or shoots their deer.
So are you're dogging on weekend warriors or you're
not? No, I'm dogging on people that dog on weekend warriors because I am a weekend warrior,
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't, I've never had a bad issue on public land. You hear stories.
I've never ran into another hunter that's, pissed me off or anything. That everybody seems really nice.
I've bumped into a few people. One guy I walked right up on and he's like, I saw some does going here. So I'm just sitting here. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, man. I'll go somewhere else. Right.
Yeah. Especially bow hunt because nobody's got orange on.
Yeah. Nobody's got orange on.
Right up on
I was literally, I was maybe 10 yards from this guy. He was kind of tucked back in some river willows.
Yeah.
And I had no idea he was there.
You're over there pissing on a tree and you look up and sorry.
Right.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, And, as long as you're respectful, I've never had an issue. I've bumped into a couple guys in the parking lot and just, hey, where are you going? I'm going to go that way. All right, I'll just go this way,
Yeah.
But there are people for sure that get all uppity about, you're in their spot or you're, chasing their deer or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like, come on, man. It's, especially on public lands.
Their deer. And then the lady I saw earlier hits it with her car anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Or they talk about, there's memes out there, bow hunters will chase a deer for, 37 days. And then some dude decked out in, blue jeans and a blaze orange vest will come and shoot that thing opening morning of gun season, which is true, but it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the gig.
That's the gig.
Last year it was just before gun season kicked off and where we were working somewhere up 94. Can't remember, but I was talking to the job soup. We're talking hunting. And he goes, what? He goes, I gotta tell you what happened to my buddy. So he had been after this buck, bow hunting, hardcore bow hunter, and great big buck, huge.
Yeah.
And he'd been after it for a couple years, few years, things smart, and he's doing,
Yep.
And first day of gun season, he's up with his bow and sees it across the swamp, sees it's horns poking out or something, and so he's getting all excited and even though it's all the way across, but he's happy just to lay eyes on it.
Right.
And I don't know, about 9:30, he said, 4 or 5, 6 guys get out. They're all orange and they're going to drive them away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, no,
the deer drivers.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
They're going to get that buck.
Yeah.
Well, the buck, he's lived through that a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as he sees him, he goes up, down and around and across the road. big old grain truck. Boom.
Oh, no.
Just squashed him dead.
no.
It's like,
Yeah.
Son of a gun.
no, you know.
Excuse me. Yeah, that happens, man.
Oh yeah.
Those deer drivers, those guys, there's a group of guys, it might be some different ones, but every year we moved into our house, must be 11 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And every single year, this group of hunters has come and done a deer drive south of our house. There's
In
that
a little patch.
that little patch.
I bet you one year they got a big buck out of there. Or
Somebody must have sometime because they are relentless every single year.
When you're driving, well, we used to I don't do deer drives no more, but hunting with Larry, you know, because it used to be just a 2-day season, and
Really?
that's just how those guys hunted. Yeah, because back then it was you hunt the first weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Or if you got your tag was the second weekend, it was Saturday, Sunday,
that was
Monday,
2.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So you had 4 days, but it was late.
There was less deer and later in the season. Yeah.
And so those 2-day seasons, you know, he dropped us off by the corner of the hayfield, you know. And I don't know where he went, but
That's where you were.
Yeah, that's where you were on.
you know, come back and 9:30 and have a bite to eat. Then you're out. You do like 2, 3, 4 deer drives.
Yeah, you try to scare up a deer.
And, and it's funny too, you know, hunting with Larry because I think there was less. I think there was less deer back then, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
But
wait, why are you guys so emphatic that you know there was less deer back then?
well, just the rules. Like there was, you know, no doe tags. You had to sign up for doe tags, and now you can shoot as
the population trends are, you know, they were almost hunted to extinction way back.
Oh, really?
Just because, you know, people needed food and that's what their food was. And there weren't really any limits on it or anything. So people were just going nuts.
So even since we were kids, like the management has changed.
I think so. And I don't know exactly what the numbers difference was,
but there's, for sure, there's more deer.
For sure, the way they issued the licenses was way different.
Yeah, definitely.
But we used to, deer driving was a part of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
how did that go?
Well, we would, I don't know, there's probably 5, 6 of us. And we just go do drives, kick up deer, you know, send out a couple.
One guy on the other side just waiting for the
1 or 2. And then, I was probably the Joe Dirt, you know. He'll walk through there.
You're the guy that gets to walk through the cattails.
Yeah. But I remember I got a couple shots at deer doing that.
Yeah.
Didn't hit anything, but.
Yeah. So the theory is, you know, you put 2 hunters, you know, or a hunter here and the other guys go way around, right? And start slowly just walking through, not trying to, you know, scare their deer, so go sprinting, but get it moving towards the hunter.
And you're assuming there's deer there, or you know there's deer there?
You go through their bedding areas and try to bump them out.
Yeah. Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. And I'm telling you, every year for 11 years, there's not been a deer where these guys are driving. But they come back. They'll be back next year. I guarantee it. That
was the first deer we got hunting with Larry. Maybe my 3rd year hunting with him, or maybe 2nd. I don't know. But I asked Larry, I'm like, would it be okay if my buddy Kyle Nicola came and hunted with us?
Nice.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. Can he shoot? I'm like, oh, yeah. You know,
he's
whatever.
good. Great shot.
So we were out, what did he call it? He called it the 40 or the 80. Can't remember. It was a chunk of family ground, you know.
Sure.
Call it the 40 or the 80. And let's go out to the 80, you know. And it was perfect because it was just strips of trees with, you know, like say a hayfield here, and the next section would be corn or cut corn.
Yep.
And seen a lot of deer out there, but we were walking, and there was this one spot. Of course, now, you know, of course, the one was laying there.
Yeah,
you know, but it was a spot, skinny tree line, and then it got real wide, and it's just thick brush, just heavy in there, you know. And and we got back, we got to that spot, and you know, Kyle, he's like, Larry, should we walk through this? And I was like, well, if you boys want, you know. Yeah. And so we go through there, and all of a sudden, you just hear this huge commotion, you know. I'm 14 or however old I was. Big old commotion, and I couldn't see nothing, you know, because it was so thick in there. And all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. I got it.
Who said that, Larry or Kyle?
Kyle did.
Oh, nice.
So what it was is it used to be like an old gravel dugout, and that buck tried to go, it got real steep, maybe 10 feet.
Yeah.
And Kyle said that buck was just trying to get his footing going up.
Oh, sure.
He pumped a couple of slugs in it and dropped it, you know. And Larry, he came around through the trees, and he was all fired up. He was pumped up.
That's awesome.
That's an 8-point buck.
I wonder if that was Kyle's first deer then.
Yeah, it was.
For sure,
Was it?
right?
Oh, we're going to have him on and tell that story.
Yeah.
I want to get
Kyle, you got to come in and tell the story.
Yeah, I want
to tell it better than Davey just did.
Yeah, I want to get some people on to tell their first deer stories. I think that I got one in mind for sure. I want Alex Niska to come tell his first deer. He shot his first deer this year.
Okay.
So I want to get him in here. And
While it's fresh.
Not quite.
What's
ready
better,
for
a
it,
kid when the story's fresh or an old guy who's had years to marinate on a story and it's gotten better
old
and better?
guy, for sure.
They're all good. They're all good.
Old guys, he can make his story way better. He's got years to practice it.
Yeah.
Stretch the antlers and
Well, I know Oscar's first deer. He was pretty pumped up.
We should have him on too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's deer drives they're interesting. I was a unintended almost benefactor of that earlier this year during the early season, antlerless or youth season.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was hunting and I got in kind of early because I wanted to walk, around kind of the swamp and do some scouting to see if there's a good spot to set up. There wasn't. So I got to where I was planning on hunting or close to it. I was kind of down at the bottom of this ridge, right? Ridge running east-west basically. And down at the bottom, there's, some just bottom ground type stuff, real crunchy woods, and then cattails after that.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't seeing much sign down there. So I moved up to the top of the hill or the ridge where I'd seen scrapes and rubs the previous year.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there and slowly making my way along, and all of a sudden I hear this awful racket ahead of me. And two small bucks, this is public land.
Yeah.
They come charging, boom, 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 running right where I just was 3 minutes before.
Oh, okay.
And, I wouldn't have been ready anyway because I was with my bow.
Right.
Right. And I didn't have an arrow knocked or nothing.
And they came in quick.
They came in real quick. They were running the whole way. So I'm standing there like something must have spooked them. Whether it was a coyote or what.
Yep.
And as I'm standing there, I hear some, footsteps, and there's a hunter coming from private land, kind of perpendicular to where I'm walking. I'm going this way. He's coming from this way from my left. So I kind of whistle at him, call him over. And I think it seemed like a younger kid, maybe in his late teens or something, probably a youth season hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I just tell him, hey, I just saw $2, run this way. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, where are you going? He said, right there. And he points to this tree that's about 40 yards ahead of me. That's where he was going to go sit.
Okay.
He had a shotgun, Like, all right, well, I'm going to go, I'll just leap past you and go on farther because there was, more public land that was probably a better spot anyway. So I'm heading that way. This is where the deer just came from. I'm thinking, well, maybe there's another one or some does or something. And as I'm standing there, I hear some voices and like, it's kind of weird, but there was a house, across the way and the wind was blowing pretty good at me. So I probably just out in the yard and the sound is carrying towards me. So I keep going and I hear voices again, a little bit louder. Then I hear some sticks breaking and stuff. And I'm like, wait a sec, that ain't right. So I'm just standing there and I can hear the voices. And now I can start to understand them talking a little bit. I'm like, oh, those guys are doing a deer drive.
Yeah.
They were driving from the private land. It would have worked perfect too.
Yeah.
But the pushers got started too early.
Oh,
They didn't wait until if the hunter he needed literally
5 more minutes.
Not even.
Yeah.
3 minutes max. And he would have been at that tree sitting there.
Yep.
And those deer would have run. It would have been a 15-yard shot, running shot.
Yeah.
That close with a shotgun, one of them probably would have been down,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh man. So then when I just bailed out of there and went somewhere else. But
yeah, I feel like deer driving's kind of a lost art or a dying.
Yeah.
Or around here. I think different parts of the country.
Yeah, I think it's more common like in Ohio and Indiana and some of those states.
Well, I know like down in Iowa where Morgan's from, it's, it's a whole different type of country, so if it's, way more drivable, way more like our type of terrain is a lot of it is so thick. And so, like one thing I didn't understand when I was a kid about, deer hunting and deer drives, I thought if you kicked up a deer, that thing was just looking to put miles between you. And no, they just want to get back into cover.
Yeah.
So if they can go 50 yards that way into thick cover, that's where they'll go,
they'll go and probably stop and sit down.
They'll make circles around and
whatever.
They can be hard to drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on the terrain,
Yeah. You guys remember one time we were stomping around at the big hill and you must have been with because we were heading back to your house. And we came out of the big hill, and there was that field to the west and then like south of your parents' house. It used to be a bean field or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
we came out of the woods and we were walking there, and there was a dude back there with his truck, and he was a bow hunter.
I don't remember this.
I have just kind of a vague memory of it.
I do remember frequently people would hunt back there and they'd come up and get permission to just park on our property.
Lars, do you remember any bow hunters from back when we were kids?
No.
Like people that I don't either. Like that.
None. Except for this one random dude. I have no idea who it was. But he was showing us like his bow and his
I do remember
broadheads and stuff.
I do remember this. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Real vague memory.
Yeah. I have no idea who it was. But I do know that if I was that guy and 3 sweaty, loud kids came stomping out of the woods, I was just going to go hunt. I'd probably just go home.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was the other thing is that we weren't, maybe at one point we became aware that it was hunting season.
Yeah.
But in general, I don't think we had any inkling that we shouldn't be running around the woods doing everything we did. I think at some point it switched.
Yeah.
And then we maybe throw some orange on and go run around.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't recall ever taking that into consideration. I probably didn't even know it was a thing, you know?
Well, I don't think, you know, like our area, our stomping grounds, you know, like the farm, they were pretty old school. Like they weren't big into, you know, now any kind of private land. Like, oh yeah, you know, we got my kids hunted or my nephew hunts. Somebody hunts every stinking last piece there is.
Yeah, it's tough to find private land.
Like when we go to Larry, we hunted. I mean, if I could have all the ground that we used to hunt with Larry, I'd be killing deer,
you'd be shooting some big deer.
It was good ground, and now that you can't hunt any of it. You know? So,
it's kind of crazy. Public land it's interesting. You ever go out after the season, like the day after the season ends, and just walk around? You know, whether you're scouting or just going.
No, I never. Usually, I'm too sick of it.
I don't blame you. No, man, there's like, it's kind of bad. There's garbage everywhere. People leaving scent wicks all over in the trees. And you know, one year I found one of them scrape dripper things hanging from a tree.
Oh yeah.
Deer, tree stands. People, it's like the rules are just suggestions. You know, you can't leave a tree stand in the WMA overnight. You can't leave any gear out there, you know. Either people don't know that or they just don't care. I think
they don't. Well, one thing about public hunting land, it's like, man, if you're deer hunting public land, there is no rule that makes it easier for you.
Yeah.
If you actually follow.
That's the key.
If you follow every letter of the law, it's brutally tough.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
Follow the rules, you know, and I mean, whatever. It'll be interesting to see what happens next year when it's rifle statewide, not just shotgun. You know, here it's just shotgun season now.
Well, I don't think that will change very much. What do you think? Do you think it'll be a lot different?
I don't know. I think it's going to give some people a false sense of confidence. So right now you can only use a shotgun down here. Yeah. Basically south of, south of 94 or something like that, pretty much. But next year they opened up rifles statewide. I can just see some, you know.
I think that's going to depend on the deer zone or the county too, can make their own rules with that. Is what I've heard through the grapevine, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So like,
there's gonna be hot shots that are gonna be setting up to shoot 1,000 yards.
It kind of seems like, I mean, I could be wrong, and hopefully I'm wrong, but it just seems like, I don't know. It seems like
I guess
how far can you shoot? How far can you shoot a deer with a shotgun?
If you got a really good one, 150 yards. Yeah. Although I've known a couple of times where a deer was hit with that really good, you know, Savage 220 at 150 yards, and that light little slug just cracked its shoulder, and you know, so it's not.
You got to get.
I would say 100 yards.
Yeah,
and then a
100 yards and inside.
100 yards
times that easily.
100 yards if you're good, or 50 yards if you know, because it depends on how you're hunting. You know, like if I'm in my bow stand with my gun, you know, to shoot 100 yards, you got to be real stable. So if I'm just sitting there like this at 100 yards, even with a scope,
probably not hit.
It's a tough shot.
You got to be pretty practiced. Yeah.
But if you're up in a box blind and you got a rest,
you got a nice rest.
You know, you can reach out a little farther.
Yeah. I've never actually been gun hunting. Only bow. But every year at Adams, so I open, you know, during gun season, especially opening weekend, I always just go to Adams. He's real good about letting me get out.
He's got a good chunk.
He's got a sweet property, man. And it doesn't, you know, it holds a few, like there's a couple, one main bedding area. Most of the deer travel through it.
There's always limits though to like I've, with like public land and private land, I've seen like, right now I got the public land blues, but I've seen people with the private land blues.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's like, you got your 40 acres or whatever, but like 40 acres holds what, 5 years?
Yeah, maybe.
Usually.
And usually it doesn't even hold them. They're coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, a lot of times they're coming through.
Yeah.
And I mean, you put a little too much pressure on their passing by spot and they'll find another one and you won't see another one there,
Yeah, every year for the past probably 3-4 years that I've been hunting at Adams, I hear the first gunshot just a few minutes before legal shooting light, that's a suggestion.
Yeah.
That was me one year I did that.
Yeah. I mean, there's
accident though.
There's honest mistakes that happen, right? And I mean, in the big picture, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, who cares? As long as you can see. And
you shared a picture the other day, Gary, of, and it looked plenty light with the flashlight shining on it.
That one? Yeah. So that was at Adams, and it was it's like 150 yards from his house.
Yeah.
Straight north almost. And we got in there. I met them about 5:30 because him and Cash were going out.
Okay.
With a shotgun. So I was going to go, they were going this way, I was going that way just to make sure I wasn't, bugging them at all or nothing. And I got to where I was going to go. It was, real bright out that morning and real calm, real still.
Yeah.
And so it was just past a full moon. So it was really bright.
Yeah. What day was that?
Saturday.
That was open.
Yeah. Open.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. And so I was walking to my spot. I wasn't going real fast because, like I said, I had 150 yards to go and all the time in the world to get there.
Dead calm.
Dead calm. Yeah. I didn't want to make a ton of noise. So I was just kind of going slow and got to where I wanted to sit kind of. But I didn't do any preparation and cut any shooting lanes or, clear a spot on the ground. I was just going to sit on the ground. Right.
Yeah.
So I had my headlamp on and I got there and shut it off for a couple minutes. I was kind of looking around and I was, okay, I got a shooting lane that way. And over here, it looks like sticks. Okay. I turn my headlamp back on. I'm trying to see if I have a shooting lane there or not, if I can set up here, right? Well, as I'm doing that, I hear something walking and it's coming like, west to east. It's going to go straight out in front of me. I'm like, that sounds like a deer.
Yeah.
So I'm looking over that way and I can see just a silhouette of a deer. Sure enough, it's a deer. Well, instead of going out in front of me, it turns and comes right at me.
Came right into
right at me. It ducks kind of under the low underbrush and pops up at 8 yards away. Yeah. I mean, that's like, from here to the wall. It's like,
you can hear him breathing.
Oh, man, you can literally hear him and I could see the steam coming off his mouth and he's breathing, Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, he's going to see me and freak out and booger out of here, but he didn't. He just stared at me.
Yeah.
And then he was just taunting you.
He was, like you said, they know what time it is.
He's like, I'm going to mess with this man.
But if you put a light on a deer too, I swear get some dumb fast.
I've heard that actually. Herbie just mentioned something about that. He was saying he was talking to or heard a podcast or somebody that does exactly just walk at a normal pace with a flashlight on. Yeah. It's when you start sneaking around that they get scared. Because then you're trying to sound like a predator, basically. If you're trying to be quiet, you're probably not doing a very good job of it. For one,
if it's dead calm,
and dry, you're gonna crunch and break sticks and everything. But that thing turned and was at 10 yards for, I don't know, long enough for me to, unzip my bibs and dig my phone out of my pocket and pull it up. And I'm trying to like swipe to my camera with them glove mitten things on, Yep. It's got the little patch of fabric so you can use your phone. It wasn't working. So I'm like going like that. And then eventually got it to work and started it, took a picture and then recorded and probably got like a minute of video of that thing just standing there.
Yeah. Well, just the other
I couldn't hang out for a half hour.
No, I needed 30 minutes. And
well, I tried to scare, it was either yesterday or the day before. Yeah, I was up in the deer stand and nothing all night. And of course, about 3 minutes before legal shooting was over, I hear, a deer coming through the cattails, 100 yards away, Oh, great, just hoping to get there in time. Well, nah, it don't, it's taking forever. And then finally, now it's close, so I don't want to, start taking my stuff down, scare it off, and comes right up to me. By this time it's pitch black. And my great idea is, I'm going to put the light on him, kind of whatever. And all I could see was eyes because it's so, the cattails are so tall this year. And that thing stood. When I had the light on him, just, didn't
staring at you.
Yeah, this ain't working. So I pumped the shotgun a few times and then finally it was just like, took off. But they get dumb in the light.
Yeah, you can't have that happen during legal, hey? It's gotta be after or before.
Well, like I like like Dan Infall, he always talks about all the big bucks, how they, you don't go far from bedding and daylight and this and that. And you get on pressured public land, that's all the deer. That's not just big bucks. It's like, a 2-year-old doe, she ain't leaving bed until, on a lot of nights.
Yeah. You got to be right there next to wherever they're bedding if you want to have a crack at them a lot of times. But you ever have it where you go, especially on public land, you go in like super deep and get way back in there and you come back and there's a deer like 10 yards from the truck. It kind of happens a lot. It seems like.
Well, is this a lot like fishing where like whenever you go fishing, you jump in the boat and you go across the lake because that's where the fish are? Yeah. Is hunting kind of the same way? It's like you got this piece of land. Since you came in right here, you got to go to the other side.
It can be. It's hard to. They talk about hunting the overlooked spots, right? Everybody gets out of the truck and thinks they got to go at least, 100 yards or more, which is not far at all. But, people go half a mile, whatever. But a lot of people say the deer are really good at, they'll sit there where they can literally watch the access. They'll walk right past them.
Oh, yeah. Those deer I was talking about in the cattails last night, they're bedded 20 yards from the road.
Yeah.
Watch the guy walk his dog right by there. Cars driving by.
Yeah.
And they're coming 20 yards from the road through the cattails into the trees, which is farther away from the road.
Yep.
If you walk through there at any given time, you kick 3-4 deer out of there.
Yeah. But it's close to the road and it seems like a dumb spot to hunt, so nobody does.
Yeah. And that particular spot, you basically couldn't hunt it because there's no, it's just brush, trees.
No tree.
You'll never, but that's where they're at.
That's why they know nobody hunts there. So they're pretty smart for just being dumb animals. Yeah. What's that saying Dan Infalt has about hunting the spots that seem you don't want your friends to see you there or something?
Yeah. Like I said, I guess my only, what do you call it? A little bit of pride is like, I've had a good streak of killing deer on public land.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a bow, sometimes with a shotgun, whatever. I take the best weapon that they use. But next year I'll have a high powered.
That's right. Watch out.
But still, like, when you started out, like public land was just brutal.
Yeah.
But I got plenty of spots that, I feel like an idiot sitting there sometimes, but I've killed deer out.
Yeah, you hope nobody sees you there, but it's like there's probably.
But now I'm kind of on a dry spell of that, so I might have to hike out somewhere.
Yeah, you might have
the Tules.
Someone else might have figured out your secret dumb spots.
Well, I think the deer figured it out.
Yeah, well, they might have. They might have
that good little spot that nobody hunted, but now I've been sitting there for 3 years.
Well, you cleaned them all out. Is what probably happened.
Yeah,
you shot them all.
Yeah.
Do you ever get bored when you're hunting?
When I was a kid, sitting in a stand was brutal.
Yeah, sure.
But now, once I'm up in the tree, I'm fat and lazy enough. I kind of like it.
Yeah. My kids ask me that all the time. Don't you get bored? I'm like, no, never. There's always something to see out there.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's like turkeys or...
I'll tell you what, I've gotten bored on all day sits though. Can you pull off all day sits worth of crap?
Yeah, I do all right.
Well,
I mean...
I got a good all day sit. So. Let's hear it. But all day sits, I don't have the greatest track record on.
Yeah.
I know like the one is an epic fail story. So I was going way in there to the spot, you got to go up this river and it's flooded and there's, good deer area though.
Yeah.
It really is.
For sure.
And, but it takes work getting back there. And, so what was it? I think I forgot something. So I'm halfway there. I forgot it. Well, I got time. Swung, turned the truck around, headed back home, got whatever it was. I don't care, whatever. And I think it was my pack with my straps for my stand or something.
Sure.
I'm doing all right. I'm fine. Left early enough. And it was a week. I think it was a weekday. So nobody was really, and this was gun season. And like, I'm doing all right. And I had my waders on because, I'm going to be going through some water.
Yep.
And so I go up the side of the creek or ditch or whatever. And, then you get there and you got to cut through all this brush and it's just thick and brutal. And I got to stand on my back. It snags on everything.
Oh, that sucks.
Not fun walking. So my great idea was, well, I'm just going to stay in the river because right there's a beaver dam.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, once I get over that beaver dam, if that's not over my waders as I go up, it'll be shallower as I go.
Yeah.
And so I get in, right over the beaver dam. Yeah. I got like half inch left on my waders, like, oh crap, trying to feel around. And I'm walking, I'm like, this will be way quieter, because you're not moving. That's why it's quieter. So I get
standing in the water.
Yeah. And,
super quiet.
So I go and, it is cold morning too, but I start walking. Oh, yeah, it's getting shallower. And it got out of the few real sketchy spots and, oh yeah, this is good. Come around a corner. There's another beaver dam. And by this time, there's no going back.
Yeah. You're out of time.
Crawl over that beaver dam and same thing, half inch to the top of the wader. Like, oh crap. Oh man, this mud down here. I don't know, like my stand's just soaking wet. Everything's, like, oh, all right, and I keep creeping. And now I'm thinking, well, this backfire, this is taking way too long, starting to get light. And, if I'll get there, if I hurry, I'm going. And same thing. There's another beaver dam. There's 3 beaver dams in there, turns out, because that was the area I always walked all the way around.
Yeah.
So then I get over that one and look off in the distance. I should have already been in. If I would have just charged in there and blew through it all, I'd been up in the tree already.
Yeah.
See like 4 or 5 nice does.
Oh, yeah.
They seen me and I couldn't do nothing. They took off running and, I'm like, well, that's all right. It's a rut. There's always deer moving.
Yeah.
So I get up in the tree and the wind's blowing and I'm doing an all day sit, I sat there. Oh man, I should have brought another jacket. I'll be all right.
That sucks.
And I'm like, well, you know what? I got to just get out of this tree and move closer to the ground. The wind's biting me, because I'm freezing and whatever. And so pretty soon I'm sitting on the ground, and not seeing nothing. And about an hour and a half before sunset or before, prime time kicks off, I was so cold I just had to walk all the way back home. So I just sat out there all day and froze for nothing,
Yeah. Yeah. Last year, I don't pull all day sits too often. Last year I did one November 8th and saw tons of deer in the morning, probably 20 deer. So that Adams again. Then, midday got kind of quiet, but I had a book and I just was sitting there, you never know that time of year, anything, could happen in a second.
Yeah. And it can,
I don't know. I didn't get too bored, but sat all day long and shot one like 10 minutes before the end of the day.
Yeah.
Did you? Man, I could have come out at 4 o'clock and shot that thing.
That's what happened to me on my other all day sit.
Yeah.
I got off work early. We just had something wasn't ready or something.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I'm going hunting. Hustled out there, sat. And same thing, 15 minutes after sunset, here comes a buck and it following a doe right in. It's like, man, I've been sitting here all day.
Sitting here all day for the last 10 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Did I ever tell you? I know I told you. Did I ever tell you about the deer I shot out of the yard at our house?
Yeah, tell it again. Though.
You sent a picture of that.
Yeah. The pristine.
We have so many deer just kind of like wandering through your yard. It's kind of, you should just shoot off your
the pristine 2.5 acres that we have,
It is pristine.
It's super pristine-ish.
Yeah.
No, it was November. I want to say it's a little later than it is now.
Your yard's kind of right in the pinch point.
It is, yeah. Legitimately, when we moved in there.
It sort of is, though.
Yeah, it is.
When we moved in there, I had a couple people from the neighborhood tell me, well, you built your house right on the deer path. They always walk through there. Whatever, sweet, Anyway, we were sitting down to dinner and one of the kids looked out in the yard and there was some deer out there. Like, Dad, there's a deer. Go get your bow. I'm like, I'm not going to go get my bow and go in the yard and shoot a deer. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Dad, come on, you got to do this. Go get your bow. Kristen's like, go get your bow. Go do it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll go out there and get my bow and that thing's going to run the second I open the door.
Yeah.
So I go out and put my shoes on kind of slow and into the garage and then out the service door to get my bow from the shed. Get halfway across the driveway and I realize my bow was in the garage. So I turn around and walk back in the garage. I'm like, that thing's going to take off as soon as I turn around.
So you're making a big old wreck.
Yeah, I was going kind of slow and wasn't trying to be quiet or stealthy or anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's just standing there munching my grass.
Your clover.
My clover.
Your alfalfa growing in
my alfalfa, yeah. Legitimate. Probably was eating my alfalfa.
Your alfalfa. It was.
So I go in the garage and I put my release on and grab my bow, you know, kind of slow, walk out in front of the front steps, and it's just standing there. So I take a few more steps into the actual grass, and like the kids are up in the window behind me. They're all like, yeah. And Kristen's there. They're all peering against the grass.
Where is this deer in your yard?
It's straight south of the front door in the grass by that little tree we have planted there, kind of towards the road.
Right by the road.
Yeah, right by the road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing's dumb, but whatever. As soon as I raise my bow, it's out of here, you know. So I go like this, still standing there. I look in the window, and Ivan's going like, he's losing it. And all the other kids are going, quiet, Ivan, be quiet, be still, you know, like trying to be quiet and be still. And so I raise my bow and draw back, and I'm aiming at it, and it's just standing there staring at me. So I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing this, you know. Touch the arrow up and just smoke the thing, right?
Yeah.
Blast right through, hits the dirt on the other side. The deer runs across the road and down the hill out
Tips
of sight.
over.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I guess I shot that thing, you know. So I go back in the house and I put my stuff away and go in, and the kids are like, "Did you get it? Did you get it?" You know, they never seen this happen before.
Yeah,
you know,
and it ran away.
Right. So I mean, they had a lighted knock on my arrow, so they saw it go, and I don't know if they knew that I hit it.
It's funny though. You put
they got front row seats to like a Meat Eater episode.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very similar. Mountains, you know, my front yard, same. Yeah, but.
Same grueling pursuit.
Yeah, right. So, I had to hike many steps to get there. It was wild. Yeah.
At one point, you had to step off of a paved surface.
Yeah, I had to go over. I had to cross over like 3 feet of river rock in my landscaping to get out there, you know? And so I went back in and told the kids, well, I hit it, you know, and we got to give it a little bit of time. So everybody's getting their boots on and finding headlamps and flashlights, and, you know, and all 7 of us, I think, went, you know, out to where it was, and I showed them, okay, this is where it was standing, and someone found blood like over here and on the road and across. And
what a sweet little lesson you got to get.
Honestly, at the time I was like, I do not want to do this. You know, it seems, I don't know, it didn't sit quite right with me.
Yeah.
Davey's story didn't sell hunting to me at all. not even a little bit. Yours? Kind of liking it. I can just put my slippers on, step outside,
step out the door,
thing, and make the kids go find it.
Yeah. So they were all over, you know, they were blood, there's blood. And it, you know, it was maybe 50 yards across the road, and it was a doe laying right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking back at it now, I'm really actually glad that I did that, because they thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah,
you know, it was a really cool experience for them to see and kind of understand. Okay, this is venison sausage in the freezer, but how did it get there?
Yeah,
you know, like they just, you know, didn't really know how that process worked.
Well, this year I took Harmon out last year too. I took Harmon out for the youth season.
Yeah,
and it's funny because he's nothing like Oscar. Like Oscar he loved it, you know.
Yeah.
He maybe get a little bored up there, but
sure.
You know, he was all gung ho to go. Harmon, you got to twist his arm, you know.
Yeah.
But what was it? The first night, or he went out in the morning, then the evening he didn't want to go, you know. And Morgan, I'm like, well, if you don't want to go, you don't want to go, you know. Yeah. And you know, Morgan, she got a little mad at me, but I'm like, I remember when I was a kid, sitting in the stand was just brutal.
Yeah.
And then, like, you'll burn them out quick. Yeah. If they're not into it, they'll hate it, you know?
Yeah.
But I ended up shooting a doe, and, you know, came back with all my stuff, and I told Harmon, like, hey, get the light, let's go find it. So he came with to track it and all that. And he loved it. You know, follow, you know, how to follow a blood trail and all that, you know?
Yeah.
He was into it big time.
Yeah.
But, you know, actually hunting, and, you know, when you're taking a little kid, you're sort of limited, you know?
Yeah, you're pretty limited.
So I don't think all of the times I don't think he's even seen one yet.
Yeah.
Hunting, you know, but
he's still into it.
No, but because you know, it's so boring to him.
You know,
so boring to him.
Yeah.
But But yeah, he had fun following it and, you know, gutting it out.
Yeah.
What was your first time gutting deer? How did that go?
Oh, well, yeah. The first time I ever shot a deer was December 10th. This was, I remember what year exactly, but I was at Adams again. I must hunt there a lot.
Yeah.
And it was, we were supposed to get a couple inches of snow.
December 10th?
December 10th. Okay. Yeah. And so we were supposed to get a couple inches of snow, and our wives were all going to the Aho ladies' Christmas party at Adam and Michelle's.
You're free for the weekend.
Yeah. Well,
they're coming there.
Yeah, they were coming to where I was hunting. Oh,
yeah. They're coming to help clean your deer.
Yeah, track it down with me and everything. Yeah. And I was gonna go sit on the ground. I'd seen some deer, a spot where deer come out into the field. It was back when it's not being farmed anymore, but it was a cut bean field that hadn't been turned under yet.
Yeah.
And I'd hunted kind of, it's kind of like lowland and then up the hill and then back down. I'd hunted up on top of the hill before and saw some deer come out on this low spot.
On the field edge?
Yeah, on the field edge. So I figured, well, I'd go down there. And, that time of year, legal shooting light ends around 5 o'clock, maybe even a little before.
Oh, right?
Because it gets dark. The sun sets at like 4:30 something. So I figured, well, I'll get out early. I'll go out early because the deer will probably be moving leading up to the snowstorm. I'll probably get out and feed before the snow flies.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be a whopper, but 2-3 inches, whatever. Well, as life would have it, I didn't even leave the house until probably 3 o'clock. Yeah, I wanted to be in the stand by like 2:30, right? And I didn't even leave the house until at least half an hour late. And by the time I got to Adams and I was getting...
You had 45 minutes of daylight
I didn't have much time, And I was standing there. I wanted to go hang a tree stand. I'm like, you ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Because, you don't have time for one, and there's probably already deer on their feet, and there's no leaves on the trees, so they're going to see you climbing up the tree anyway, and they'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I guess I'll just go sit on the ground. So I went out there and just happened to find a deadfall that fell from the private land onto Adams and poked out in the bean field just a little ways.
Okay.
So I just went and said, I'll just tuck up by that. It was like 20 yards from the trail.
Yeah.
And so I got into the stand, in there maybe 3:30, maybe even a little after that. So I had, like an hour of good shooting light, and maybe even a little less because it was also cloudy with, heavy clouds because of the snow. Yeah. So basically as soon as I sat down, it started to snow a little bit, and I heard some, 20 minutes later or whatever it was, I heard some noise in the woods on the private land behind me. I turned and looked back, and, there's usually a couple feet of pretty open. Then there's like the brush line, right, where all the branches grow out, and you can't, it's kind of like a wall of sticks and branches you can't really see. Mm-hmm. And then you can see over that too. Yeah. But I couldn't see what it was. I could just see the feet walking kind of through the underbrush. Okay. But it was coming right down the trail that I was setting up on. Yeah. Like, oh, this will be sweet. Chip shot. It'll be 20 yards. So I turned and grabbed my bow. I just hung it on the deadfall. And I turned and grabbed my bow and positioned myself. And it gets to about 5 feet from where I need it to be to shoot, straight down the tree line, and stops and just kind of looks over the empty field. That's kind of what they do, right? They're looking for predators and whatever, any danger.
Anytime they go from one area to another, I notice they stop and look.
Yeah, they stop and look and check it out and smell and try to figure out if there's any danger out there, right? So as it's doing that, it starts to browse around, and all of a sudden it turns right towards me. So I'm, okay, well, I'll just wait for it to turn back. Well, it starts browsing and it's walking towards me. So it came out on the trail at about 20 yards, and it takes a couple steps. It's at 19, 18, 17 yards. I'm like, this is kind of weird. I hope it turns soon. It has no idea I'm there. I'm like just trying not to move.
Are you any good in like the heat of the moment? Are you any good at like making noises to like get them to try to do stuff or
get them to stop?
Get them to stop. Yeah, I've had pretty good luck getting them to stop.
Yeah, or like a little. Just to try to get them to be like, huh?
Yeah, just turn a little bit. Yeah.
For me, that's always kind of, it's a little trick. It's easier. They make it look easier.
Yeah, it's easier said than done for sure. Yeah, but I've scared a few too. Trying to sound like a squirrel or something.
Yeah, it's hard to control your voice perfectly.
Yeah. So this deer is at 16 yards. Takes a couple more steps. 15, 14, 13. I'm like. Again, I've never shot a deer before. It's the first one ever. Okay. I'm like, am I gonna?
Is that a shot you can take?
You can. I've never,
you don't even really know where to put the arrow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have a general idea, you don't want to go like right here because there where the ribs come together, the breastbone, right? You got to go underneath.
It's not ideal with
it's not ideal. It's not ideal at all. But people do take it. But and I'm starting to wonder, do I got to shoot this thing in the face or what the heck is going on? It's like 13 yards away.
Probably just tackle it.
Yeah, just wrestle the thing down and slit his throat or something.
Yeah,
but no, it takes another step. It gets to 11 yards, and it seems like it's from me to Steve away.
It ain't much further than that.
Yeah, it's close, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Well, it stops and kind of turns and it starts to, groom itself or something. You know how they do that thing where their front steps take a couple steps and all of a sudden their back leg just go two steps and it's facing the other way. Yeah. That's what it does. Now it's facing the other way.
Oh, it never went broadside.
Never went broadside.
To facing away
in like a second. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I've read about the old Texas heart shot. Yeah. Right. From like, really? That's even less appealing to me than shooting a frontal shot. So I'm not going to take that. Right. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh man, I just blew it. This thing's going to walk down this trail up the field edge and I'm not even going to get
you're just going to
11 yards and I'm not even going to get a shot.
Yep.
And then it starts to go the other way. Well, it gets back to the trail and miraculously turns to its right, like it's going to head back out in the field.
Okay.
And it does. It walks behind this little clump of brush that I was going to use as draw cover. Yeah. So I draw back. It takes 2 more steps and I give it a little, one of those. Yeah. And the ground is pretty much completely white with snow by now. So it's dark enough. It's still well within legal. Yeah. It's dark enough that you can see, it's mostly a silhouette. You can see a few details. Yeah. Yeah. But not much more than that. So I, aim and this is like a 22-yard shot. Touch the arrow off. I can see the lighted knock, smokes the deer, blasts right through.
Lighted knocks are awesome.
Oh yeah, they're sweet, man. They're super cool. Pounds the dirt on the other side. A big old cloud of dirt and snow goes flying. Mm-hmm. Deer runs out into the field, makes a big loop, and so it's coming back almost the way it was heading. Mm-hmm. And it stops and just standing there looking around like, what the heck was that? And then it starts to kind of wobble like they do,
What are you thinking right now?
I'm like,
this is the first deer you've ever shot.
First deer I've ever shot. I'm like, oh man, I just smoked a deer. Yeah. This thing's dead.
Just adrenaline through the roof.
Yeah. Though. Shaking like crazy. Like,
that's awesome.
Trying to hang my bow back up.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was intense. But yeah, so the deer drops down to its front legs. I'm like, that thing's done. It's over. Game over. Right there. I just shot my first deer. Yeah. Stays like that for 2 minutes. And it stands up and walks into the woods.
No.
Yeah. And I'm like, what? I went from here comes a deer to the deer is, 11 yards away.
Yep.
The deer is facing away. Yep, I'm not going to get a shot. The deer's gone.
Yep.
I got a shot. The deer's, dead. Yep. And then the deer walks away. Just a roller coaster. Oh my goodness. And so I'm like, it's snowing pretty hard now. And I think we've already had probably 2 inches of snow, which is more than I thought we were going to get, So I'm like, okay, well, I got to get over there and check the arrow and find some blood, so I can figure out where it went before it gets covered up, right? Because the snow is going to bury the blood. Yeah. So I stand up and walk over there real quietly, bend down and pick up the arrow. And as soon as I do that, I hear this awful racket in the woods, just crashing and sticks break. And I'm like, great, I just spooked this dang thing. Now it's running across the countryside. Yeah. Who knows how far I scared it. Whatever. So I start looking for blood and the arrow's got, some decent blood. It's a little darker than I thought. So I thought maybe liver, but probably 1 lung, maybe 2, but liver for sure. No guts or anything on it, but there's no blood on the ground, not a drop. I followed it ran probably a 70-yard loop out in the field. I walked the entire thing and not a single drop of blood. I go to where it dropped to its knees, not a single drop of blood. Yeah. And I go to where it went in the woods. I started going that way, nothing. No blood. Okay,
so now you've gone to, did I even?
No, I'm
like, what even happened?
Now I'm starting to wonder, obviously I hit it, but was it too high? Because there's kind of they say there's like a no man's land above the spine where it's just, muscle, basically muscle and fat and stuff. I'm like, it doesn't look like that. But
what did your shot look like initially?
I thought it was great. Okay. I thought it was perfect. Yeah. It was a little far back, but it was center of the body height wise. Yeah. Right. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to leave my arrow here because it's got the lighted knock. So I'll be able to at least show the boys, Yep. So I go home and called Rico and TJ, see if they'd come help me track it. And I went home and got Bjorn because he wanted to come with, track it. He was, I don't even know how old he was. He was pretty young yet, but so we go back there and I show him where the arrow is and where the deer walked into the woods, and the tracks are pretty much covered. You know, it's snowing pretty hard and it's still snowing. And now we probably have, I don't know how much, 3 inches maybe, but so I show him where the deer walked into the woods and I tell him, you know, I heard this awful racket and the thing probably took off or whatever. So we skirted it, where it went into the woods was this real thick, thorny, nasty junk. So we skirt around that and start looking for, you know, tracks or blood or anything. And
see if it came back out.
Yeah, we're kind of looking for, you know, and this is going on to the private land. But this guy has told Adam in the past that, you know, we can go out there to track deer if we shoot them or whatever. So we're kind of fanned out a little bit, walking slowly. You know, we go 20 yards, nothing, 50, nothing, get to probably 100 yards, nothing. And we're not going real fast because it's snowing hard and, you know, the sign's probably getting covered up, but we're looking for any kind of track or blood or anything, you know, and there's leaves and sticks on the ground. So you see a little depression, you think that's a track. Well, no, it's just a leaf fell there or something, you know, or whatever. And we looked for probably, I don't know, half an hour or so. And now we're starting to run up against time because our wives got to go to that Christmas party at Adams. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, boys. You know, we looked for half hour, maybe 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, let's just call it. I'll come back out tomorrow in the daylight and see if I can find it. Probably buried with snow, but whatever. So TJ and Rick will say, well, we'll go check over here, you know, this other direction, and we'll meet you back over there. Like, I'm going to go look one more time where it went into that thick stuff and see if I can find anything to mark, right? And I'll hang my hat on a branch that has blood or bite or something, any kind of sign. So I go back there and I'm looking around and I see Adam's dogs. He had 2 yellow labs. Just the dumbest dogs ever. But they're
here to bail you out.
And they were smelling around it. So I'm like, oh, sweet. Maybe they picked up on something. You know, people use tracking dogs, right? So I'm like, I bet they found something. So I go over there and they're in that thick patch and the deer's laying right there. It went like with that awful racket that I heard, it was just tipping over. Dying, you know.
So I was in the middle of the thorns, basically.
I was right in the middle of the thorn patch. And so I went in there to get it. Well, it was a spike buck.
Oh, okay.
And I had no idea. It had 2 antlers that were, you know, probably 5 inches each maybe, but they were laid super far back, almost like parallel to the head versus perpendicular. So even though it was 11 yards away, I had no idea that thing was a buck. So then we drug it out I gave a holler and they come running and drug it out into the field, and Rick's was holding one leg and TJ was holding the other, and they're telling me like, cut that thing and cut there and cut there. And I'm just like, all right.
just going for it.
No idea what I was doing there. You know, cut around that and cut that thing and got it done. But it was.
I remember gutting the first.
What was your first deer?
Well, let's see we gutted one when the one with Kyle when we were kids. Larry did the gutting.
Sure.
Don't really have much of a recollection of, you know, he knew what he was doing. And then me and was it Jason Witt? I hunted with him. We got a buck, but we gut shot that thing. So that nice. But same thing, we got it, but not. I don't really. So then, but then after, you know, in my more recent memory, started gutting deer, and if you don't know like the anatomy, it's, you know, it ain't fun.
No.
You know, but now I got it all figured out, you know. But gut shot deer though. Well, every time we would get a gut shot one, it's like Oscar's getting pretty good at it, you know, like just it's all you, dude. It's all you. Because I got such a weak stomach for that. There's been multiple times that I've been, you know, 5 yards away, they turn the other way, just ralph in the bushes. You get, you know, breathe that in once, and then it's like in your brain, you know, you catch one more little whiff, it's just like, you know.
Knock on wood, I haven't had the pleasure of a gut shot deer yet, you know.
Not fun.
But
I wonder if it's you and you said Jason Witt?
Yeah, I think so.
If you guys are out, like how would you even know how to gut a deer?
Well, actually,
someone read it in a magazine once and had it in a memory?
No, because his dad was a big time hunter. So he was younger than me, but he actually probably knew more about it than I
knew
did.
what he was doing a little bit.
Yeah. And I don't remember if his dad was Dave was.
I think Dave. Yeah, whole family. So Dave must.
Oh yeah,
they're all good hunters.
Yeah. But now, one because now you know what you know the whole anatomy and you know like I remember the first one me and Tommy did. Yeah, we hacked all into the tenderloins. And, we just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one way to learn though.
Yeah.
Fun fact about deer, I don't know if you knew this, Guff, but the front shoulders, there's no like socket there. It's just held on by tissue and muscle.
Oh, really?
There's no bone joint.
Yeah,
there.
there's no connection there.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
You just get up under there with a knife and start cutting. And the whole arm comes right off. The
whole quarter just comes right off.
There is on the hind, but not the front.
Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Can't picture that.
I know. It's hard to even imagine.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yeah. It's just kind of there. You guys, you don't do a deer camp with a bunch of people or anything, or do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
We got a big time deer camp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where?
Well, over at Ray's.
Who the heck is Ray?
Ray Wells.
Who's Ray Wells?
You remember Zach?
Oh, yeah.
His dad.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we, how long ago did that? It's kind of a fun deer camp because, really nobody hunts. It's, like the classic deer camp, everybody meets up in the woods. You got a shack.
Oh, yeah.
Like I sit on YouTube. I like watching like UP hunting video or deer camp videos.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of cool, but we just meet up there, so it's still deer camp, but everybody goes to their different spots. Everybody's doing something different. Some people are hardcore. Some people, like Ray, he's getting pretty lazy. But got to twist his arm to get him to go out there. But
is that around here or where's that?
Yeah, just right in right. Yeah, he's my neighbor.
Oh,
so.
Nice.
Yeah, Zach hunts. Zach's big into deer hunting.
I haven't seen Zach since high school.
Yeah. He's probably Zach's awesome.
Yeah, I always liked him. He was really funny.
Yeah,
he still. He still has a sense of humor.
Yeah. Are we live still? Is anybody watching? Sorry to hear that. Anybody watching have a good story? Let us know. We need to get more people on here to tell your.
Will the Thrill saw an 8-pointer up in Calumet the other day.
Shoot it, Will.
Will the Thrill season 8-pointer.
Hey, Brandon Aho shot a big buck tonight.
Did he?
Yep.
Nice.
It was out at Big Dave's place.
Really?
Yeah. Nice 8-pointer.
Yeah.
Like the rack wasn't. You see, it was mature.
Yeah.
Looked big.
Yeah. I was gonna bring some. I was going to bring some pepper sticks in from the deer I shot.
Yeah.
But they're a couple years old and kind of gross. They've been sitting in the freezer.
It's so funny.
We've gotten, at our deer camp, we've gotten into, we do all the processing ourselves.
So you actually make your own sausage and everything.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. I would like to do that. I usually just bring it to Benny's Meat Market in Hutch.
Oh, okay. Did you bring the whole carcass in, or do you have to?
You can. Well, as of last year, you still could. I don't know. I know a lot of places are kind of going away from that.
Yeah, it's so much work.
Yeah, or like French Lake, you got to bring just the meat. They don't take the whole deer anymore. Yeah. But as of last year, Benny's did still take the whole deer. But I actually kind of like cutting them up, but I just don't know how to turn it into stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've learned the hard way because, our one guy that we thought knew it all, it turns out. No, not really.
Yeah.
But so we've tried to, it's kind of like, you go do all this stuff and it's kind of disappointing because, you'll get all, like, what was it? I can't remember if it's summer sausage or what. We're all gung ho and we put all our eggs in one basket, made all the summer sausage, and then it kind of sucked.
Yeah, no, it didn't turn out good.
But yeah, I think we do. I mean, we've done like 10 deer for the price of what you'd pay if you just brought the one deer into the butcher,
Yeah.
And I get why they have to charge a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to, grind it and re-grind it to mix stuff in.
But we don't have nothing. We have a grinder. We have a smoker that we built. Other than that, though, it's pretty, we got a stuffer. That stuff's kind of spendy, but
once you got it, you got it.
Once you got it, you got it.
Buy them once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried it. We've made all kinds of stuff. Last year we did a lot of just burger.
Yeah.
And because we always used to make everything into like, I don't know, like sticks and jerky and all this stuff. And, and you get to next year and you'd find out, oh yeah, I still got, a bunch of those sticks so now we've been going more towards, like last year we made just a lot of burger. So like we ground up, all our ground stuff. We ground and we mixed it with beef. Made awesome burger.
Like 50-50 or what?
We did 50-50.
Just ground beef? You mix ground beef and ground venison?
Ground meat.
Or like fat from beef?
Well, we went to Walmart. We bought the 73% lean. So it's real fatty.
Yeah, real fat, yeah.
And venison's
real lean.
Real lean, like no fat at all.
Yeah.
And we mixed that. And I mean, I was making cheeseburgers out of it. It was good. Yeah. So, yeah.
You didn't add any other fat to it, just the beef?
Well, the beef had a lot of fat because it's so.
But you didn't have to add more than that?
We did 50-50. It was really good. Yeah. So I think we're going to do that again. And that's easy because you just, what did we do? We ground it once or twice and then I think we ground the venison once. No, we ground the venison twice and then we just mixed it and packaged it. So.
Yeah. Our studio audience is raising his hand.
Yeah.
Lex Anderson, Quinn got her first deer this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she did.
Maybe you already knew that.
Yeah.
Big buck.
Doesn't know if she'll do it again.
Really?
Way to go, Quinn.
Did anyone else out there shoot a deer this year, opening weekend? In the chat, let me know. I want to know if anybody else shot one and what it was and if I can have some of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't shoot one yet.
I know our deer camp's doing biblically bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Not a good...
Wait, so first of all, how many people?
Well, we're up to... What do we have? 10 or 11?
Okay. It's like half the town of Kingston.
Well, they're not all Kingston folk. But 10 or 11, and we got 2 deer.
Huh.
Usually we were doing better.
Hunting public or private or both or what?
Anything. Yeah. Some guys got their own, But yeah, it was a slow start, maybe a strong finish.
Which is weird because that first morning or that first day was fantastic weather-wise.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was one of the first like legitimately cold days.
Yeah, well, me and Pounder were talking.
Wait, you and who?
Pounder, Logan Benson.
Okay, you got it.
So
you got to help us out a little there. I love nicknames, Davey, but you got to.
Well, yeah.
Pounder.
Okay, so you and Pounder were talking.
Well, we started hunting a couple of years ago because we started working together. Okay. And he's big into deer hunting too, and of course we got the public land blues thing going on right about now. And we were just talking tonight, because he was in his best spot, didn't see nothing, whatever, and lost my train of thought.
you and Pounder was hunting. Or talking.
Yeah, something with the public land blues.
Yeah.
Don't recall.
Tampa, you'll remember it.
It'll come back up.
Yeah, his good spot wasn't so good, huh? Yeah, so I've never tried to make anything of my own, but I think it would be sweet. But I don't have any of the stuff.
Yeah. The Charger says mixed venison with bacon ends and bits, a lot cheaper than bacon and is delicious.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, people do that.
Mixing it with burgers, bacon ends and bits. Is that what you said?
Yeah, bacon ends and bits. Mix your venison, bacon ends and bits.
Oh yeah, it sounds amazing.
Does sound good.
Yeah,
real fatty, and then that's
Yeah, I've heard guys mixing
bacon in there.
Yeah,
yeah,
and we pork or pork fat.
Yeah,
people do that.
Yeah. I just bring it to Benny's and watch them. They do their thing. Last year I turned the entire deer into Polish, whole thing, every piece of it. I told them take the whole thing, turn it into Polish. Yeah, because I know we'll eat it. Pretty much everybody likes it at home.
If it gets, that's where we're at. Like I told Ray, I'm like, if it's gone, then it was worth making.
Yeah, right.
Everybody still has a little left.
Yeah,
maybe not. There
right.
So,
yeah, I mean, like I said, we've done the pepper sticks and stuff before, but clearly they're not that hot of a topic or an item if I found it 2 years later in the bottom of the freezer.
Yeah.
They're good. I don't know. It's not something that I remember to eat.
It's hard to eat a big volume.
One thing we made last year, and my dad, every time, because we talked deer hunting a little bit, and he'd always say, like, you ever had canned venison?
Yeah, I've heard of people canning their venison.
No, And he's like, well, you got to try it. It's really good.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I just chalked it up to like a crazy old man type of thing.
Yeah.
And then, last year we, because like when you're cutting down like that shank meat,
Yep.
It's so tough and full, whatever. And one guy at our hunt camp goes, we made canned. It was really good. And we put some of them, we used all like that shank meat.
Yeah.
And some of it we used prime cuts.
Yeah.
And when we're eating it, we couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, good enough for me because I'm sick of trying to clean, all that. And we made that, and it is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I had to buy a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
But it's easy to make,
Oh, so you actually cubed it up and canned it, and
just chop.
And then you can keep that for years.
I'm not sure if canned meat has a super long shelf life.
That's what I think it was Kristen's grandma said. They used to do that and keep it for.
Okay. Yeah, maybe years. It does. Yeah.
But Kristen's grandma, her boyfriend.
Okay.
Different story. Different story. But he said when they shoot deer and they, cut the meat off and put it in a bucket of water so that it's fully submerged.
Okay.
And stick that in the freezer, just like that. And then that'll keep for years in the freezer, just like that. You don't got to vacuum pack it or bag it or nothing.
Yeah.
Just in water, stick it in the freezer. I mean, then you got to have a freezer full of buckets of deer meat.
Yeah.
If you got the space for it, it's probably a pretty good way to go, but simple,
Yeah, it would be.
They never had vacuum sealers back in the olden days.
No. Well, that's one thing at our deer camp. We used to do a lot of vacuum sealing.
Yeah. And
finally it got to the point where, you'd be opening something up from the, vacuum, and it's like Cabela's vacuum sealer or whatever, and it would cost like $30 for a deer, a couple deer, to do. And finally we just went to butcher paper.
Oh, you just wrap it.
Yeah. I'm like, that vacuum pack is a scam. If you ask me, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to freeze a burner. It's not, right?
Yeah.
Kind of.
How long you want to keep it? 10 years or I don't know.
Yeah.
The point is to eat it,
No,
you might as well freeze dry it and just,
I like that. I like that bacon tip from the comment section. Who was that?
That was from Former Charger.
Former Charger. Yeah. Thanks, Former Charger.
I don't know who Former Charger is.
If anybody else has any sweet recipes, throw them out there.
Well, Vinny Pokernowski, you open a can of worms by bringing up comments, but when you're in need of someone to come in and talk about missing deer with a bow, let me know.
Yeah. Well, he's got stiff competition there.
Well, and you got to figure out who Former Charger is because he's apparently the venison recipe book. Crock pot of shank on low for 14 hours with some beef broth and pepperoncini peppers, and just make sure there's plenty of liquid.
I have heard that venison shank that's like the lower part of the leg, from like the joint down or whatever. I've heard that's really good if you know how to cook it, which I
low and slow.
Low and slow.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch The Meat Eater?
Oh yeah.
I love watching that. You watch that still?
No. I've
seen a little bit of Meat Eater, but not.
I've seen all of it, and I listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
Podcast is actually a lot like this, just a little bit worse.
Yeah, it's not quite as good, but they'll
probably less expertise.
Yeah, they'll get there though. They'll get there. Yeah. We've been doing this for an hour and 28 minutes already.
Yeah,
give them some time to catch up.
I mean, this specific, but we're not new to podcasting by any means.
Right.
We've already done one whole episode prior to this.
Yeah.
The problem with Meat Eater is they'll start a story and then halfway through he forgets it completely.
That sounds like you, Dave, 10 minutes ago.
Wow, I'm getting good. Forgot where he was going with it.
Yeah. Former Charger is Luke Aho.
Ah, yeah. Luke. Oh, Luke's probably got some good hunting stories from Alaska.
Yeah, he used to be a highly Alaskan, now just a lowly Yooper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
We might have to talk to him.
We'll take his stories anytime.
Yeah. With eating venison, did you I had to convince Morgan to, I don't know, 5 years that venison's fine.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen where people don't like it or said it
I think most people just don't initially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think some people are turned off by the fact that it's not beef, that it's venison.
Yeah.
We had when I used to work back in the olden days, when I had a job, we had a chili cook-off at work. and I made venison chili. And there were some people that, even though it looked just like beef, they just had the hardest time even trying it.
But
because it was venison. Well,
venison.
I just feel like I probably should tell them that it's venison. I don't know why. Like if I made regular chili, I wouldn't say it's beef chili, you know?
Yeah, I don't think you had to.
There was one, I don't know.
Unless it was like an illegal meat.
I mean, if I was like, you know.
I think my line is rattlesnake. If you had rattlesnake in there, then I'd tell them.
Then you'd want to know.
So whatever that spectrum is.
Yeah. Well, there was one gal there that was a vegetarian.
Yeah.
And she would always tell us to leave the poor deers alone.
Oh, yeah.
But a bunch of the other guys, they were hunters too. So we'd kind of banter back and forth. I just felt like I should tell people it was venison. And when I did that, some people didn't really want to try it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't win first place. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I've only had it a handful of times and I've never really cared for it.
Yeah.
It's you got to prepare it the right way, you know?
Yeah.
Mark Nordstrom makes a real mean venison steak.
Really?
Yeah.
What does he do?
I don't know. Just like throws it on high heat for a couple minutes few minutes on the side, salt and pepper and butter or whatever.
I know one thing with venison is, like Max's thing. Don't tell me how to cook my steak. And I agree with it.
Actually, it is meltdown.
Yeah, I actually agree with almost all of Max's meltdown.
No, Max is an idiot.
But one thing with venison steak, or like backstrap, it's so lean.
Yeah,
that's one where if you
try to cook it at all,
if you overcook it,
it'll be nasty.
Yeah, but it's like backstrap's really hard to cook good. If you ask me, like it's
tricky.
Yeah, you really got to keep a temp on them, and
it's got to be a little bit pink in the middle, which throws some people off. You know, like Max.
But it's so lean.
And, if you don't, you're gonna
no forgiveness.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a hockey puck if you try to overcook it. But you ever had elk?
No, I never have.
I had one bite of Vinny Pokornowski's elk out west, and that was really, really
good. He got one, huh?
I don't remember if he got one or if
it was like a party hunt.
Yeah, he had some meat from somebody. He like threw it in a crock pot or something, or gave us a taste of it. And it was really, really good.
Yeah.
But it's...
Well, Louis Isaacson just shot an elk. I don't know where he was, somewhere out west.
Really?
He's posted pictures, but he swears up and down he's not going to share any of it.
Baloney.
It'd be kind of nice if he did.
Yeah. Hint, Lou.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got to work pretty hard to get elk.
Yeah. Well, it turns out we don't do that. We're pretty good at going out there and not working that hard.
Oh, okay.
We eat real good though. Yeah. We're not eating mountain houses, out on the mountain. We're eating gourmet burgers that are about 2 pounds each in camp.
Who was it? I think it was, we were talking at work, Sam and Tony Fratsky.
Yeah.
They're
both good hunters.
Yeah. And telling me about elk hunting. I don't know if that'd be for me.
Yeah. I think it would be, but the problem is it's so dang expensive.
Well, yeah, that too.
It's almost $1,000 just to get a tag.
Yeah.
And that's,
just for the right to try.
Just for the right to try. And you have like a, 10% chance or 10% success rate. And every state is going to the points system where you can't just walk into the hunting store and buy a tag over the counter anymore. I don't know if you're familiar with the
points. You got to try for 10 years and build your points up.
Build your points up. And by the time and I don't have, the good stuff that I need anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't really go out on the mountain and, spend the night. Vinny's done that a few times.
Yeah.
He's had way more good encounters than we have, but it's like, man, that was when he lived out there too, though. It's like, $80 for a resident tag or whatever.
It's a different story.
$800 for a non-resident.
Yeah.
Just stupid expensive. And it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, are you guys familiar with the corner crossing case in Wyoming?
Yeah. Only from listening to Meat Eater.
Yeah.
What was that? Or what?
So it's a long story. I don't know how big of a version you want, but
give me the short one. I don't care. I have heard that
message received.
I've heard that line. I don't know.
Going too long.
Production team wants a long version.
Long version. Okay. Yeah. I'll give a longish version. So you heard of the Bureau of Land Management, BLM?
Oh, yeah.
Federal government agency that controls, there's millions of acres of BLM land, mostly all west. Alaska's got like 73 million acres.
Okay.
And there's, I don't know, millions more out west. And a lot of it is arranged in, it's a really irregular shapes. Like some of the areas are literally like a checkerboard pattern.
Okay.
So like think of a red and black checkerboard, like we used in middle school, all the black squares are BLM. The red squares are private.
Yeah.
Okay. So that goes back to like when they were trying to expand the railroads to the west, to two things. The railroads going west. The government wanted the railroads to go west to, move people from the east to the west part of the country, right? And goods and building supplies, and just open up the rest of the country. So what they did is the government created these townships, 6 square miles.
Okay.
Right. And then they broke those townships up into 1 square mile chunks, 640 acres in a square mile.
Right.
And then what they did was they were going to grant some of that land to the railroads so they could expand west.
Okay.
But they didn't just give it all to them. The government would give the railroad the odd, they numbered those sections. So if you're looking at, a 6x6 grid, right? In the top right corner is section 1, that's 1 square mile.
Okay.
The next box over is section 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Then drop down a row, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Go all the way to 31 through 36. So the railroad would get like 1, 3, and 5. The government would keep 2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
And then the next row down, the government, they give all the railroad the odd sections, the government would keep the even ones.
Okay.
And so it resulted in kind of railroad, government, and then the next row, government, railroad, right? Like a checkerboard. Well, so what the government was going to do was grant the railroad these sections and then sell the other ones to settlers out east that wanted to move west, which is a good idea. But the problem was the only people that could afford to buy it didn't want to move, right? They were out east. They had their homes and businesses and money and all the comforts, right? They didn't want to leave that to trek across the country and maybe get killed by Indians on the way, right? They're not going to move to start over, basically. Mm-hmm. The people that were willing to move were the poor people, the settlers that wanted a better life, but they couldn't afford the land.
Okay.
So then what the government did was took some of those 1 mile sections and broke those up into 4. So 160 acres each.
Okay.
And they created the Homestead Act of 1862.
Yeah.
So you could file a claim with the government on one of those pieces of land, and they'd give it to you with the stipulations that you'd move there and they'd live there for 5 years, and you had to improve the land in some way. You had to build a cabin, start a ranch, start a farm, grow crops, livestock, whatever.
No squatting.
no squatting. And basically what they wanted to force people to actually move.
It's incentivizing people.
We need to see improvements.
And you didn't do that. Yeah. You need to get more cows. No, so the end result was, the railroad had some sections, the government had some, then they'd subdivided some of those and sold them. And of course, over time, this guy had this one and this guy had that one and this guy had that one. And some of those got bought and sold. And it resulted in a real chaotic mess of public lands interspersed with private lands. And some of it is literally, if you look at it, it's like a checkerboard.
Chopped.
Yeah.
Well, by design, then you ended up with public land. So government owned land, private land. Yeah, and this is where the corner crossing becomes an issue because so, it's laid out. So it's kind of like that, right? Those yellow. Right. I brought visual aids, but nobody can see them. But so the yellow. This is specifically for Davey and the producer.
The yellow squares and those to stove.
Pictures do me well.
The yellow squares would be BLM land, but people can, and BLM land is open to all kinds of activities. Not every chunk, but hiking, biking, hunting, fishing, ATVs, horseback riding, dispersed camping, go somewhere, pitch a tent, light a fire, cook a hot dog, make a s'more, whatever you want to do, right? Not all of it is open to that, but a lot of it is. Well, this corner crossing case in Wyoming, there's this group of hunters from Missouri. They did their research and they found a chunk of BLM land they were going to go hunt on. And it was bordered. There was this ranch out there that had the private land around this BLM land. So these guys, went to the BLM land. They set up a spike camp, and then continued. And they were going, there was BLM, in a diagonal, like on that picture. Yep. And they got to the corner where,
like, they're going to go from 23 to 13.
They were going to go from 14 to 24.
14 to 24.
Yeah, the 13 and 23 is.
So these all come together to cross.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So the BLM land is here and here, right? Yep. And they're going to cross this corner right here.
Yep.
The problem is at that crossing, the ranch that owned these other two sections, they put a fence post, a green, fence post with the green post with the white top, same one you can get at anywhere. They put a post here in this corner.
Yep.
And another one here in this corner, probably this far apart from each other.
Yeah.
And then they strung chains across there. So now anyone trying to go from BLM land to BLM land can't do that.
Would have to step on private land.
You'd have to step on private land to get there.
Yep.
So what these guys did is, this is all from the Circuit Court of Appeals decision. Yeah. I actually did my homework on this.
So it's a wild case.
It is a wild case.
And it's consequential too, because these corners exist all over the West.
Yeah, all over the West. And there's all kinds of them. And these guys, what they did is they just, this first time out there, they just grabbed on a fence post, one leg stayed on BLM and they kind of swung around onto the other chunk of BLM, right?
Yep.
If that gate's not there, it's a step, literally, right? A step. But that chain and fence post thing was there.
Yep.
And this ranch also put, no trespassing signs, but they didn't put them on on their property lines, right? They put them kind of across like this and like this.
Yeah.
So that you got the fence posts and the signs, basically, and the chains basically creates a gate.
They're trying to claim this piece of BLM land, which is it's public land. You and I own this land.
Yes. 100%.
But they own everything around it, and they claim they have the only access to it.
Yeah, because you can't.
Is their argument.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, and basically saying it's theirs.
Basically saying it's theirs because their ranch land surrounded these chunks of BLM land, 100%. Right. So these guys, they swing around it and go, continue on. Well, this Elk Mountain Ranch, it's owned by some pharmaceutical dude from North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he's worth I looked it up. He's worth $200 million. Okay. This ranch is 22,000 acres.
Yeah.
That's like the size of Cokato Township.
Right.
And within that 22,000 acres, there's 27 pieces of either BLM or state, other federal land for about 11,000 acres.
Okay.
So all told, this whole piece of land is just over 30,000 acres, 22 private and 11,000 BLM. Well, this ranch, they monitor the public land, and they actually had an unwritten policy of when they noticed someone out there on the public land, they would go out there and confront them, and they would say, "You guys can't be out here. You trespassed to get here. You got to leave."
Yeah.
And these hunters, they said, "No, we're not. We didn't trespass. We swung around your fence post. We didn't step on your land at all."
Right.
And so there's a little bit of a dust up or whatever, and eventually the ranch workers let them go, and these guys do their hunt, and sounds like they were successful. They shot a couple elk or something like that. They go back home, and the next year, that was in 2020. In 2021, they come back, but this time they got smart, and they don't want any kind of trespassing accusations. They're not going to touch the fence post, nothing. So they build this ladder. This A-frame ladder.
That's good thinking.
And it is to me, right? Yeah, they put it right up over those signs, over those chains, over the U.S. geological marker that marks the corner.
Yep, these two legs are on BLM, and those two legs are BLM.
Exactly.
And they go up and over.
They climb up and over. They don't touch anything of the ranch hand. They touch nothing.
Yeah.
And they go and do their hunt and they go on their way. Well, of course, the ranch finds out about it again. And they confront him again. And it says, prior to 2020, Iron Bar, this was the company that holds the ranch, instituted an ongoing practice of having its employees confront or interact with a suspected trespasser found on or near its property, even if the person was found while on public land. Suspected trespassers instructed to leave, but if they resist, Iron Bar will contact local law enforcement, including the Wyoming Fish and Game, to seek criminal trespass or other prosecution. And if in Iron Bar's view, law enforcement takes insufficient action on the matter, They'll continue to contact law enforcement to push the matter. Will also contact the local prosecutor's office to request prosecution. Okay, so these guys go back out there with their ladder again, and they go and, you know, of course they get found out. These hunters come out there, or these ranchers come out there, and they're mad this time, and they start harassing them basically. And they tell them, you got to leave, and we're going to call the Wyoming Fish and Game. We're going to call the sheriff. They start driving their vehicles, their ATVs and stuff around to scare game away, which is, hunter harassment, illegal in pretty much every state, right? And just, being uptight about it. Well, they contact the sheriff. The sheriff says, I'm not doing anything about this. These guys aren't trespassing, They contact Wyoming Fish and Game. They say the same thing. No, we're not doing anything about this. You're not trespassing.
Right.
So then they take it to the local attorney. So we want these guys prosecuted for
probably in their back pocket.
Probably. I don't know. Probably. I mean, they hit them with criminal trespassing. And that's, not when you live in Missouri and you're getting charged with criminal trespassing in Wyoming, it's not in completely insignificant punishment. You can get 6 months in jail and $750 fine or whatever it is, right? Like, it's not nothing to say, no, you're wrong about this. It'd be way easier to just pay the fine, even though you think you're right. It'd be way easier to just pay the fine and promise not to go back. But to these guys' credit, they say, no, we're not wrong about this. If you insist on prosecuting us, we'll just go to trial. Yeah. And they do. They go to trial. Yeah. And there's a trial, and thankfully, the jury finds for the hunters. They say, no, these guys didn't trespass.
That's good.
Well, as it should be. And you'd think that'd be the end of the story. It's not.
So then what?
So that same day, the same day that the jury found for the hunters, this ranch hits them with a civil lawsuit, which means they ask for punitive damages, money. $7 million they ask for devaluation of property. They're saying that their 22,000 acre ranch is going to be devalued because people are on the public land.
Which
it probably is if you think you had a landmark before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've read a couple places that.
So is it still ongoing, or?
Well, I'll get there.
Okay.
Dave, you wanted the wait. Yeah, the producer wanted the long version.
Yeah. So they get hit with this $7 million lawsuit for devaluation of property, which, to any normal common sense person seems ridiculous.
Yeah. Good luck collecting on that.
Well, good luck collecting. You can sue me for $11 million, but
like my dad said, you want my hawk and my 6-inch knife?
Yeah.
That's such a funny line.
These
drywall line.
These hunters asked the court for a summary judgment, which means just have the courts decide this right here and now without going to jury trial again on this $7 million lawsuit. Yeah. And the jury or the court finds for the hunters. They say, no, you didn't trespass.
Yeah.
You'd think that'd be the end of the story. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's not. They appeal this to the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, the federal court, which is Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas. That's the 10th Circuit.
Okay.
Right? And they say, no, we want you guys to look at this. And the 10th Circuit Court, which is where this comes from, the 10th, their brief or decision, whatever, I guess, they look at it. I don't know if there was a trial with that or not, or if they just reviewed the case, but they find for the hunters again. And they say, no, this is not trespassing. They didn't touch it.
And that was the end of it.
Well, you'd think.
Dave's so good at playing along.
No, so they find for the hunters, say it's not trespassing. So, of course, this pharmaceutical dude from North Carolina appeals. His only recourse is to appeal to the federal Supreme Court. The Supreme Court.
All the way,
all the way to the Supreme Court with it.
Yeah.
And just last month, on the October 20th, Supreme Court issued a list of cases that they were not going to consider, and this was one of them. So they said, we're not even going to hear this case. Which...
Is that the end of it?
That's actually the end of it.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So basically the Supreme Court...
But put yourself in the shoes of these dudes that are just trying to hunt.
Well, that kind of goes back to maybe I'm interrupting, but it's kind of going back to like what I said about even public land around here.
Yeah.
The only problems is the landowners up to it.
Yeah. Because they have their land and they can go on the public land.
Yeah.
Public land. Yeah. And that's what these ranchers were doing.
Like I know there's land, basically landlocked public lands.
There is. Yeah. There's a few around here that.
And I don't know why is the DNR buying landlocked public land?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was like a tax forfeit thing initially or what. But,
yeah.
I mean, there's millions of acres of land out west that are landlocked.
Right.
You know, a lot of them are checkerboarded. So now that the Supreme Court declined to hear this case in the 10th.
Yeah, I think we got to start a little business building them ladders.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
In the 10th Circuit, for all intents and purposes, corner crossing is now legal.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So, well, it is. It would have been kind of nice. It's a little bit bittersweet because if the Supreme Court had taken that case up,
then it would be over.
And found for the hunters,
then it's over.
Then it's nationwide.
Yeah.
And then that's it, you know.
Okay.
So as it stands now, it's just in the 10th Circuit, which is great. You know, that's good. That's what it should be. That should not be considered trespassing in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Like the guy's
I walked between your two stupid stakes.
No, you violated.
Good enough.
No, they violated his airspace.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. Which there is some merit to that because otherwise somebody could build a huge cantilever building on their side of the property and hang it over yours, right? Yeah. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but stepping from corner to corner, 3 feet, there's no way that should be trespassing.
Yeah.
I get kind of heated about this one. I've been following it because it's just bizarre to me. Like, I can't imagine if you own 22,000 acres, I cannot imagine getting worked up about someone stepping over one corner of it.
No, I know. Yeah.
I mean, some people are just that way, but
they run a lot of outfitters and guides on that property. So they just had exclusive access to a lot of stuff that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
That's what interests they're protecting.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
But it don't mean it's right. They just benefited for a long time.
Yeah. And I mean, and some people have said, well, the government should just create an easement, right, from corner to corner, pay the landowners if you have to, right? Mm-hmm. Which makes sense, but then you'd probably have people, riding their ATVs out there, and the ATV can't fit through the 3 foot wide easement, so they just go around, and before you know it, you got ATVs running all through your private. And so I get that, but I don't know, for foot traffic,
it's an interesting topic though.
There's no way that should be trespassing.
Yeah, I'm not on the landowner side on that one.
No, and I don't think I don't think any hunter is, but it's not just hunting. It's anybody that wants to go out there for hiking or horseback.
But good on these dudes for fighting the fight, right? Because
I mean, I can't imagine. Like I said, from Missouri and to Wyoming, I don't know how far of a drive that is, but they easily could have just folded up. And how many hunters did?
They probably shot some sweet deer or something out there.
I read somewhere that they shot a couple elk and a muley or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that gate that they put up, that ranch, it was at the very first intersection of public land and private of their,
So those public sections, they kept going.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of them kind of like on a diagonal on a checkerboard.
Yeah. So once you cross that corner, then all of a sudden you had access to a lot of different things.
To more, yeah. But that first corner, I'm sure they put it there because they figured if they deter people from going to that first crossing, nobody's going to go far. Then we don't have to gate the rest of them.
Right.
But so that's the corner crossing case. It sounds like it's pretty much settled for now. I have to imagine there's probably not as much of this stuff, like in the 8th district where Minnesota is, right? Like Minnesota, the Dakota, maybe in the Dakotas, but down to Iowa and,
where it's checkerboarded like that.
Yeah. There's, no BLM land here in Minnesota. So maybe it won't even be an issue in any other districts, but would have been kind of nice if it was,
Yeah, we kind of got
nationwide.
See, one thing about deer hunting that I didn't realize that, public lands are like different types.
Yeah.
And they fall under different rules. And I used to think public land was just public land.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there's WMAs and WPAs and Superior National Forest.
And they all have different rules about them and
different rules and regulations. And some of them you can and can't, hunt with this and that. But
some you can drive ATVs on, some
you can't. Yeah. Yeah. There was one time that never been to that one by just east of Kimball on 55. on the south side of the road. It's like the Ashaw Valley.
Yeah, I know where you're talking. Yep.
There was one year I went hunting out there, and it was right after gun season.
Oh, okay.
There was 3 deer carcasses right by the parking lot where somebody had just taken the back straps.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just wanting to waste like crazy. Like just complete waste,
yeah.
you know? Yeah. And then I was walking farther in and I found a spike buck that had the same thing. And then I think it was the next year I found basically a headless deer. Someone just lopped the head off and kind of left most of the rest of it out there.
Yeah. Huh.
Just
weird.
Ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
Weird. It's like, I don't have any kind of problem with gun hunting, but I don't think it was coincidence that it was right after gun season.
Yeah, no.
You know? But that's good. I got a few hard-hitting questions here.
All right, bring it on.
What's the best snack to have in the tree stand?
Well, probably Copenhagen snuff.
best snack is Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Eating it with a spoon. What do the deer like best? Do they like wintergreen or the peppermint, or what kind of flavor do they like? Smell green apple maybe?
Just the original.
Original.
Yeah.
Original Cope. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best?
I had when was it? A couple of years ago, we stopped into Casey's one morning and I had to get a can of Copenhagen and they were out. That's a bad day. Clean out of the snuff. And I'm like, it's deer season.
You don't have a plan B?
Well, I had to go to wintergreen.
Oh, man, that's a bad day.
To power through a can of wintergreen.
Power through it, man. Yeah. What's the best beverage to have in this tree stand?
Well, coffee, but I got to pee every 20 minutes.
I mean, obviously coffee, but
yeah.
What would you do if you couldn't have coffee? You wouldn't bring water.
I always forget water and it's backfired.
Yeah.
It's backfired.
Awesome. Yep.
How often do you fall asleep when you're out there?
Never, because I'd die if I did.
Why? You'd fall out of the tree or what?
Yeah, I'd go right out.
You always hunt in a tree stand? You don't ever hunt on the ground?
Sometimes on the ground, but I always convince myself I'll go off the ground, and then when I'm out there, I'm like, nah, I should have brought the stand.
I'm the other way. I usually hunt on the ground.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's better for napping.
Yeah, it's pretty good for napping. Yeah. You don't got to carry as much.
A lot of times,
with you.
If you have spots where it works, a lot of times it's like gun hunting. A lot of times I'll bring my stand, but I'll literally put one stick.
Yep. Just get up.
Get me above the grass.
Shoot over the brush line type of
I'll
deal.
find a tree that I can get it, or, and kind of get camoed in there a little bit, but I'm up 6 feet, but I can still see over the grass.
Yeah. You think, how much does camouflage matter?
I don't, I watched yesterday, or when was it? A few days before gun season, me and Oscar were out hunting.
Yeah.
Are you talking like quality of camo or something, or what?
No, pattern. I do think quality matters.
Okay. Well, he had whatever hand-me-down camo he had.
Yeah.
I forget the pattern. It was not Sitka pattern. I promise you that. And it so happened where we could see each other where we were setting up.
Yep.
And I was looking over, I'm like, he's not even setting up yet, And I was looking and looking, keep my eye, and all of a sudden I caught a little movement. And when he was tight to that tree, you could not see him.
Oh, yeah.
And then once I spotted him, and then I could see only when he moved, though, when he was tight to the tree. But then when he got his stand and he was sitting there, he's also got a size 15 boots, then he didn't blend in quite so good. But when it was funny how that camo would just like, you would never see him if you didn't know he was there and he wasn't moving. He was tight to the tree.
Yeah. Deer pick up on the movement.
Yeah.
Real good. Yeah. Especially when you're on the ground, my opinion. Like, they're onto it. Yeah. Which makes sense if you think about it, where most of a deer's predators are on the ground.
Yeah.
Coyotes, wolves, bears.
Well,
cats,
I shot with my bow, I shot a doe off the ground because I went out and I didn't have I grabbed my stand and everything, but I forgot my pack with the straps in it. Because I keep my straps separate. I don't tie them on to
separate from your stand, or what do you mean?
Yeah. So I keep those in a pack. And and I forgot that pack. So I get out there with my stand.
So you can't use the stand without the straps.
Yeah.
What kind of stand is it?
It's I have XOP.
Huh.
So it's highly portable, but it's useless with no straps.
Yeah.
So I get out there, I'm like, crap. I'm like, I ain't walking back. I'm just hunting off the ground.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I was sitting there, this is worthless. And Oscar was out hunting with me too. So he had his stuff, so I couldn't just like go home,
Yeah.
So I was out there anyway. But I was sitting there, like, well, I'm hunting off the ground, and whatever. Long story short, sitting there and waiting, and all of a sudden, there's a deer. I'm standing behind this big bush, but my wind was good. Didn't have my wind. I just made one giant step this way, drew back, and that deer was looking at me the whole time.
Yeah,
smoked him.
Yeah,
but like deer, I think deer are weird with their vision because they see all that stuff, but don't necessarily spook if they don't have your wind.
Yeah, they don't really know what you are sometimes. Yeah,
their vision's not.
It's not great.
No, but if they catch you, like they'll catch you in circle downwind and then spook, or whatever. But
yeah. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done while hunting?
Well, I fell out of a tree stand once.
That's pretty dumb. How'd that happen?
Well, this is when this was part of mine and Tommy's first year epic season.
Oh yeah.
Where we shot at all kinds of deer. Didn't hit nothing.
Got a lot of shots off though.
Yep.
Yeah, sweet.
And but my brother or Spike, he goes, I didn't have any kind of a stand, nothing, didn't have any didn't know anything like I know now, and like, well, there's a guy bow hunting, down the hill from the house. He came out hunting once. His stand's been there for 2 years. Take it. I think it's one of those climbing ones.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sweet, Yeah. So I got it. And how's this thing working? We've kind of figured it out, and well, now knowing what I know, I don't know how anybody would really hunt with a climber if you're bouncing around public land where we live.
Yeah.
Like I can think of one spot that has the right trees that.
Yeah, you need a perfect tree for it.
Yeah. So anyways, I had this climber up and it was a crappy little box elder tree. And I was going up with it. Of course, I forgot my string to pull my gun up,
Yeah.
And so I'm going up, climbing, and I'm like, well, I don't need it. I'll just put the gun across the top section like this. And I was climbing up, and I wasn't very high. I think I'm guessing my feet were 6 feet off the ground, maybe.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the gun, something slipped, and the gun was about to fall. And I went to grab everything. I went to grab, just, and all of a sudden, I'm going back.
Oh no!
Your feet are tied in.
Yeah.
And that top part came out just below my knees, I think.
Yep.
And I was going over backwards, and your feet are strapped in. Well, they came out.
Yikes!
The one foot must have come out. The other foot just ripped out. Talk about sprained ankle.
Oh, man.
That thing was sprained. Just whack.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I fell on the softest ground. I kind of flipped the gun this way, because I knew, was going down.
Yeah.
And ideal landing spot. And it hurt so bad.
Like the devil.
Knocked the wind out of me. I was laying there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did that once with a climber. It was the first climber I bought. I got from some dude on Craigslist. We lived in St. Cloud actually, but newly married, didn't have any money for fancy.
Did you ever have any luck using a climber, Sam?
Define luck.
Well, I mean, did you find
ever
useful?
go on it and not fall off?
I got yeah, I went into some trees with it, and but when I first started using it, it's two separate pieces, right? Yeah. So the one part, the top part, you kind of sit and lift it up and then pull yourself up and hoist the bottom part up with your feet.
Yeah.
What smart people do is tie those two sections together with a string, about 3-4 feet long.
Mm.
So they're all kind of together. What I did was didn't tie them up. So I'm climbing and somehow the bottom section slips and falls. Rattles
all the way down.
Yeah, I was probably 15 feet up or so.
Hanging by your arms.
Hanging by the arms, this kind of sucks. Nothing to stand on. What do? I just started kind of little tiny jerks the whole way down.
You descended 15 feet, 2 inches at a time.
No, I descended about, I don't know, 9 feet until I could hang and drop.
Oh,
It was taking too long.
But then how did you get your top section down?
Well, I just used my bow or something and kind of poked it until it fell on its own, you know?
I'm not a fan of climbers.
Yeah, they're kind of weird, but they're good if you have the right tree in the right spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like the public land around here, it's, you know, I think my stand's is about as versatile as a deer stand can come. And I still struggle to find trees to, although a lot of spots, you know, just scruffy trees and.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. We've been going for about 2 hours.
We put her over too. Yeah. That was good.
We still got people watching, Stove.
There's a few.
Everyone went to bed, so it's probably good for us.
Well, I will leave it with this. I want to talk to some more people. So if anybody wants to come on the podcast and tell their hunting story or something,
this seat right here is available. So I'll happily fire myself and
who's going to run the board?
Well, I'll try getting the producer chair if Steve will give it up at some point. Maybe trade me in on it.
Leave a comment or send one of us a text or something if you want to come on and talk about stuff.
Message Gravel Road.
Message Gravel Roads Radio.
Any of their 100 social media sites that they're on.
Yeah. And tune in.
Letter to the editor and the Enterprise.
Send an email to feipodcasts@yahoo.com.
FEI Podcast.
That's one of the guys here. Vinny clearly signed up. So you got Vinny lined up.
Vinny
has Vinny been having any luck this season? Deer hunting?
Come on, Duper, you in bed yet or what?
I'm sure he's missed.
He's still partying.
A couple with his bow already. Yeah.
All right. Back to the varsity on Friday. There's Steve. You guys going?
Yeah, we'll be Friday night. Hunting heavy.
Hunting heavy. A bunch of hunters in that group for sure.
Hunting
heavy. Yeah, tune in Friday for the Real Gravel Roads Radio podcast. But maybe we'll do another one. I don't know if people want. If people thought this was interesting, I'd love to do more.
Yeah, production meeting quickly is, let's get regular with it. I think that's the key.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I can do that.
2 weeks already. We're picking the next one. So every 2 weeks this goes. 2 weeks.
I know a few people that would be good on the hunt podcast too.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's call it.
All right.
Thanks for watching and listening.
See you.
See ya.